Samuel Hill's sensors blare to life as his cargo ship, Lucky Star, detects the spinning wreck of an Iridian scout craft, its crystalline hull fracturing in the dense asteroid field ahead. The veteran pilot's hands tighten on his controls, knowing a young life hangs in the balance and that his next decision could spark an interstellar incident. The year is 2157, and humanity's relationship with the crystalline Iridians remains as fragile as their silicon-based bodies. In the 5 years since first contact, every encounter has ended in tension or outright hostility over resource claims. Yet there it is on his scanner, a single Iridian life sign, fatting fast. The bio readings match those of a juvenile, equivalent to a human child of 12. Samuel checks his cargo manifest critical medical supplies bound for Ganymede colony, needed within 48 hours. The ship's chronometer seems to mock him as it counts down the minutes of breathable air left in the alien vessel. His fingers dance across the displays, calculations confirming his worst fears. Any rescue attempt would require threading through a maze of tumbling rocks while trying to match spin with a wildly rotating craft of unfamiliar design. The radiation from the asteroid field crackles through his communications array, cutting him off from Earth Command or the Iridian Embassy. He's alone out here, just like during his search and rescue days in the Mars crisis of 49. But this is different. This isn't a human craft with standard emergency protocols. The alien ship's hull breaches are clearly visible through his viewscreen, the result of multiple asteroid impacts. Its propulsion system is dead, leaving it to drift deeper into the deadly field. His ship's small docking collar was never designed to link with Iridian tech. The Lucky Star groans as Samuel pushes its maneuvering thrusters to their limits, trying to plot an approach vector through the chaos of spinning rocks. His extensive rescue experience tells him this is at the razor edge of possible one wrong move, and he'll doom them both. The young Iridian's life support readings continue their steady decline on his monitor. Samuel's mind races through the consequences. If he attempts this rescue, he risks his ship, his cargo, his career, and possibly even charges of treason from hardline anti-alien factions. If he doesn't, a child dies alone in the cold of space. The Lucky Star's proximity alerts warn of another wave of asteroids approaching. Samuel has seconds to decide continue his vital supply run to Ganymede, or attempt what might be the most dangerous rescue of his career, all for a member of a species that currently views humanity as rivals rather than friends. Samuel released a slow breath and engaged the Lucky Star's maneuvering thrusters. The asteroid field's deadly dance of spinning rocks filled his viewscreen as he initiated the rescue sequence he'd performed countless times before, though never with an alien vessel. Computer, activate search and rescue protocols. Deploy maintenance drones, he commanded, his fingers dancing across the controls. The ship's belly opened, releasing 3 sleek drones equipped with magnetic grappling arms, a custom modification from his rescue pilot days that had raised eyebrows during safety inspections, but remained aboard through his insistence. The ship's hull creaked as he pushed the thrusters to their limit, matching the tumbling scout craft's erratic spin. A massive asteroid passed within meters of his port side, its pitted surface visible through the bridge windows. Samuel compensated with a burst from the starboard thrusters, maintaining position relative to the damaged Iridian vessel. His maintenance drones moved into position, their magnetic arms extending toward the crystalline hull. The first attempt to establish a grip failed. The alien material responded differently than standard metal hulls. Samuel adjusted the magnetic frequency, and on the second try, the arms locked on. Initiating stabilization sequence, he announced to the empty bridge, habit from his rescue days taking over. The drones worked in concert, gradually counteracting the scout craft's spin. Warning lights flashed as the strain on the drone arms reached critical levels. Samuel's eyes darted between his sensor displays and the medical supplies secured in his cargo hold. Each violent maneuver risked damaging the precious cargo, but the alternative meant leaving a child to die. He adjusted power distribution, diverting extra energy to the cargo bay's stabilization fields. After 40 minutes of precise adjustments, the Iridian vessel finally stopped spinning. The young pilot's life signs had weakened further, and the scout craft's hull showed new stress fractures from the stabilization process. The next challenge loomed before him, creating an interface between incompatible technologies. Samuel retrieved emergency hull foam from his repair stores and reprogrammed the maintenance drones to apply it around the Iridian airlock. The foam expanded, creating a temporary seal between the two ships. He sealed his helmet and entered the airlock. The emergency vacuum suit sensors immediately registered the alien environment as he crossed into the scout craft. Purple bioluminescence pulsed through crystalline walls, casting ethereal shadows. The ship's internal architecture followed geometric patterns unfamiliar to human engineering principles. In the control center, he found the young Iridian. Zaxtil's crystalline form lay motionless in a chair that seemed to grow from the floor itself. Fine cracks spread across the alien's silicon-based body, damage from the impacts that had crippled the ship. Samuel checked his suit's atmospheric analyzer. Trace amounts of methane remained in the vessel's compromised life support system. Working quickly, he disconnected Zaxtil from the biomechanical interface of the control chair. The alien child's form was lighter than expected, the crystalline body cool to touch even through his suit's gloves. Back in his cargo hold, Samuel modified a biological transport pod, replacing its standard atmosphere with methane from his emergency supplies. He carefully placed Zaxtil inside, sealing the pod. The readout showed 6 hours of life support capability, a tight window for reaching help. Before departing, he returned to download the scout craft's data core. The navigation logs might explain how a juvenile Iridian ended up alone in this restricted sector. The ship's black box released with a sharp crack, its crystalline housing warm in his hands. As the Lucky Star cleared the asteroid field's interference, his communication system reactivated. Multiple channels lit up with incoming signals, the Ganymede colony requesting his status, Earth Command demanding position updates, and even distant pings from Iridian frequencies. Samuel glanced at his chronometer. The rescue had cost him 3 hours, and his new passenger's limited life support left no room for delays. His fuel reserves showed lower than planned, the extra mass of the rescue requiring additional thrust. He'd need to plot a new course to Ganymede, one that balanced speed against efficiency. The communication channels continued to flash, demanding his response. In his cargo hold, 2 urgent priorities waited: medical supplies for a human colony, and a young alien whose rescue could reshape diplomatic relations. Samuel's hands moved to the navigation controls, beginning the complex calculations for their new trajectory. Samuel's fingers had barely left the navigation controls when his communication array erupted with incoming transmissions. The messages cascaded across his screen's Ganymede Medical Center's urgent request for their supplies, Earth Colonial Authority demanding explanations, and an encrypted ping from an Iridian border patrol vessel. "Priority sort," he commanded his computer. "Display critical messages first." The medical center's transmission dominated his main screen. "Lucky Star, your cargo is needed for emergency surgeries. Confirm ETA immediately." Before Samuel could respond, his pod monitoring system flashed red. In the cargo hold, Zaxtil's life signs fluctuated. The scanner revealed hairline fractures spreading through the young Iridian's crystalline form. Samuel accessed the pod's atmospheric readings. The methane levels dropped steadily, microleaks bleeding precious atmosphere into space. His hands flew across the maintenance console, attempting to seal the leaks with emergency patches. The black box from the scout ship sat beside him, its crystal housing still warm. Samuel initiated its data extraction while working on the pod. Computer decrypt scout ship logs. The screen filled with Iridian script, translating into human standard. Samuel's eyes widened as he read the craft belonged to Valtil, a leading Iridian scientist. Security override warnings peppered the final logs before the drive malfunction. Sabotage, Samuel muttered, scanning deeper into the data. A new alert cut through his concentration. Two ships appeared on his long-range sensors, running without transponders or identification signals. Their course adjustment matched his own, closing the distance with precision that spoke of military training. The pod's methane levels continued falling. Samuel pulled up his navigation charts, plotting distances. Ganymede lay 15 hours ahead at maximum thrust. He overlaid Zaxtil's projected life support duration, 4 hours remaining. The numbers told a clear story. Reaching Ganymede meant sacrificing his passenger. A transmission cut through his calculations, tagged with diplomatic priority codes. Valtil's crystalline features filled his screen, her form refracting light in patterns that conveyed distress. Human vessel, I am senior crystallographer Valtil. My child, her transmission crackled with interference. Research outpost on Europa, please respond. Samuel checked his charts again. Frost Point Research Station sat on Europa's rim, 8 hours closer than Ganymede. Their Iridian science team maintained methane atmospheres and crystal repair facilities. The pursuing ships altered course again, matching his trajectory with increasing precision. Samuel diverted power to his rear sensors, studying their emission patterns. The drives matched Martian military designs, but ran without standard identification protocols. His ship's computer flagged another warning from the pod. The makeshift life support system struggled to maintain proper pressure. In the pod's viewport, Zaxtil's form shifted, consciousness returning despite the deteriorating conditions. Samuel opened a channel to Ganymede Medical Center. This is Lucky Star. Emergency deviation required. New ETA. He checked his calculations. 32 hours. The response came instantly. Negative, Lucky Star. Those supplies are critical for scheduled surgeries. The pursuing ships accelerated, their engines burning hot enough to register on thermal sensors despite their stealth systems. Samuel transferred power from non-essential systems to his defensive screens. The Lucky Star's hull hummed as shield generators spun up to full capacity. He established an encrypted channel to Frost Point Station. Research Station Frost Point, this is independent freighter Lucky Star, requesting emergency docking clearance. I have a critical condition Iridian passenger requiring immediate medical attention. Static filled the channel for 30 seconds before a response came through. Lucky Star, maintain current course. Security teams will intercept your pursuit vessels. Samuel's tactical display updated, showing new signatures launching from Europa's surface, the station's defense craft moving to protect their approach vector. The pursuing ships immediately adjusted course, their previous precision giving way to evasive maneuvers. In the cargo hold, Zaxtil's crystalline form pulsed with renewed bioluminescence. The young Iridian pressed against the pod's viewport, patterns of light rippling across their damaged surface in what Samuel recognized as their species' equivalent of pain responses. His navigation computer calculated their optimal approach to Europa, factoring in the station's rotation and the incoming security vessels. The course appeared on his main screen, a complex series of burns that would thread them through Europa's orbital defense grid, while maintaining the smoothest possible ride for his fragile passenger. Samuel engaged the plotted course, pushing his engines to their sustainable maximum. Behind him, the pursuing ship split formation, attempting to flank his position despite the approaching station security. Their behavior confirmed his fears. These were professional operators, likely working for factions opposed to human-Aridian cooperation. The Lucky Star accelerated toward Europa's ice-covered surface, its engines straining against the increased power demands of the defensive systems. In the cargo hold, Zaxtel's pod reported 2 hours of viable atmosphere remaining, while the distance to Frost Point showed 3 hours at their current speed. Samuel's hands tightened on his controls as he prepared to push his ship beyond its designed limits. The pursuing vessels closed the distance, their weapons systems now registering as active on his tactical display. Samuel's tactical display flashed red as the pursuing vessels accelerated toward attack positions. Their engine signatures matched modified mining vessels, but the weapon's energy readings exceeded legal civilian limits. The targeting systems bore the distinctive pattern of pure Earth weapon modifications. He'd seen enough of them during the Mars crisis to recognize their signature. Initiating emergency maneuvers, he announced to his computer. The Lucky Star's engine screamed as he executed a complex series of burns, using Europa's gravitational field to mask his trajectory. The pursuing ships split apart, attempting to trap him between their firing arcs. A warning klaxon blared from the cargo monitoring system. The medical supplies shifted in their containment units, temperature readings spiking from the high-G maneuvers. In the adjacent bay, Zaxtel's life support pod registered increasing stress fractures across the young Aridian's crystalline form. The methane atmosphere gauge dropped steadily, 2 hours remaining. Samuel opened an emergency channel to Frost Point Station. "This is Lucky Star requesting immediate medical assistance. Aridian passenger critical, pod integrity failing." Static crackled before Doctor Marcus Bell's voice cut through. "Lucky Star, our crystalline bay is prepping for emergency procedures. Be advised we're experiencing severe surface storms. Approach vectors are compromised." The doctor's transmission fragmented into bursts of interference. Samuel's communication array detected irregular signal patterns suggesting localized jamming from within the station itself. "Computer, dump emergency water reserves on my mark." Samuel watched his tactical display as the pursuing ships aligned for a pincer attack. "Mark." The Lucky Star's water tanks emptied into space. The liquid flash froze instantly, creating a cloud of ice crystals that scattered the pure Earth vessel's thermal tracking systems. Their unshielded hulls cracked under impacts from the larger fragments, forcing them to break formation. Samuel pushed through the opening, diving toward Europa's atmosphere. Ice particles from cryovolcanic eruptions hammered the Lucky Star's hull. Structural integrity readings dropped to 64% as warning lights cascaded across his console. The ship's fuel gauge showed 18%, barely enough for one more major course correction. Defense turrets on Frost Point's exterior turned to track his approach. The targeting systems locked onto the Lucky Star's erratic flight path, reading it as a potential threat. Frost Point Control, transmitting authentication codes now. Samuel's fingers flew across multiple interfaces managing the failing pod life support, stabilizing the medical cargo's containment field, maintaining control through the ice storm. Request emergency docking clearance. Authentication received, Security Chief Morrison responded. Warning defense grid showing delayed response times. Possible system compromise. Stand by. The pure Earth vessels emerged from the ice cloud, weapons charging. Their hulls bore visible damage, but they maintained pursuit with military precision. Samuel's access panel lit up with unauthorized commands targeting the docking controls. Someone inside the station attempted to override the emergency protocols, sealing the airlocks. Movement registered on the pod monitors. Zaxtel pressed against the viewport, the young Aridian's crystalline body emanating pulses of bioluminescence. The resonance patterns matched frequencies in the station's security grid, creating unexpected harmonic interference. Station systems responded to the signal, fighting against the saboteur's commands. Chief Morrison, we're picking up unusual energy signatures from my passenger. Pattern matching shows compatibility with your hybrid systems. Confirmed Lucky Star. That explains the pure Earth interest. Get that child inside will handle the pursuit craft. Samuel diverted remaining power to engines and shields. The Lucky Star's hull groaned as he lined up with the emergency dock. Behind him, the pure Earth vessels opened fire, their modified mining lasers cutting through the storm. The station's defense grid activated sporadically, individual turrets responding to Zaxtel's resonance, while others remained locked down by internal sabotage. Samuel weaved through the scattered covering fire, watching his fuel reserves tick down toward zero. The airlock grew larger in his forward viewport as ice particles continued battering his failing hull. Pure Earth targeting locks painted his ship from both sides. The Lucky Star's systems redlined across every display as Samuel prepared for his final approach. In the cargo hold, Zaxtel's pod registered critical atmosphere levels, while the medical supplies threatened to breach containment. The next few seconds would determine more than just their survival. Samuel's fingers flew to his wrist computer, accessing an encrypted partition he hadn't touched since his Mars crisis service. The military-grade override key activated, sending cascading commands through Frost Point's compromised systems. The docking clamps engaged just as laser fire from the pure Earth vessels carved glowing trails through the ice storm. The Lucky Star's hull screamed under the strain of the emergency docking sequence. In the cargo hold, the stabilizer systems failed with a sharp crack. Containers of medical supplies broke free from their moorings, sliding across the deck. The pod's life support readouts flashed critical warnings. Samuel diverted full power to Zaxtel's pod systems and wedged himself between the shifting cargo containers. Metal edges bit into his flesh as the ship completed its rough docking maneuver. Pain shot through his side as a container pinned him against the bulkhead. Lucky Star, this is Dr. Bell. We're detecting multiple hostiles approaching your position. Samuel pushed against the container, crushing him, feeling ribs crack. Copy. Pod needs immediate transfer. Cargo's loose but contained. Station sensors tracked 3 armed figures converging on the airlock. Samuel recognized their security badges through the internal cameras: Reynolds, Webb, and Davidson from maintenance. They attached hacking modules to the airlock controls, but interference patterns rippled across their screens. Zaxtel's crystalline form pulsed with increasing intensity, the resonance disrupting their equipment. Weapons fire echoed through the station corridors. Dr. Bell's medical team and security detail engaged the saboteurs, forcing them back from the airlock. Samuel used the distraction to release his cargo restraints. Blood seeped through his shirt as he activated the pod's transport mode. Medical bay secured, Dr. Bell announced. Get that pod to the crystal chamber now. Samuel guided the pod through the airlock while security personnel created a defensive perimeter. The medical team rushed forward with a hover stretcher. Under the harsh medical lights, Samuel saw the extent of Zaxtel's deterioration, fracture lines spreading through their core matrix like a crystalline spiderweb. Station breach in sections 7 through 9. Security Chief Morrison's voice cut through the comms. Pure Earth teams cutting through emergency bulkheads. All non-essential personnel evacuate immediately. The medical team rushed Zaxtel through reinforced corridors toward the crystal treatment chamber. Samuel followed, dragging the critical supplies despite his injuries. Behind them, sounds of plasma cutters and weapons fire grew closer. Dr. Bell activated the crystal chamber's diagnostic arrays. The core matrix is destabilizing. We need to establish a quantum sync point before the fractures reach critical mass. What do you need from me? Samuel asked, securing the medical supplies in a storage locker. Your exposure to their resonance created a unique synchronization pattern. We can use that to stabilize the matrix, but you'll need to maintain direct contact during the procedure. Station alarms blared as pure Earth forces breached another section. Security cameras showed armed intruders moving with military precision through maintenance tunnels. The treatment chamber's blast doors sealed automatically. Samuel placed his hand on the crystal chamber's interface panel. Zaxtil's bioluminescence pulsed in response, creating harmonic patterns across the medical bay's systems. Dr. Bell calibrated the stabilization field while monitoring the fracture progression. Unknown vessels approaching from Mars' trajectory, Morrison reported. IFF systems scrambled. No response to authentication requests. The medical bay's power fluctuated as pure Earth jamming systems activated throughout the station. Samuel focused on maintaining contact with the interface panel, feeling the quantum resonance build between his nervous system and Zaxtil's crystal matrix. The young Iridian's consciousness brushed against his awareness, fragments of alien thoughts and sensations cascading through the connection. Plasma cutters began working on the medical bay's secondary access panel. Security teams took defensive positions around the crystal chamber as Dr. Bell continued the delicate stabilization procedure. Through the quantum link, Samuel sensed Zaxtil's fear mixing with willpower as the fractures in their core matrix slowly began to stabilize. The unknown ships from Mars closed on the station, while pure Earth forces pushed deeper into the medical section. With communications jammed and time running out, Samuel maintained his position at the interface panel, knowing the next few minutes would determine not just Zaxtil's survival, but the future of human-Iridian relations. "Connection established," Dr. Bell announced, monitoring the quantum synchronization readings. Matrix stability at 32% and climbing. Through the interface panel, Samuel felt Zaxtil's consciousness pulse with renewed strength. The young Iridian's fractured crystal structure emitted harmonic waves that resonated through the chamber's hybrid systems. A violent explosion rocked the station. The artificial gravity wavered, sending loose equipment sliding across the medical bay floor. Samuel braced himself against the interface panel, maintaining contact as alarms blared through the corridors. "Pure Earth forces have breached environmental control," Morrison's voice crackled through the comm system. "Led by Derek Blackwood, he's running this operation." Samuel's heart rate spiked at the name. Blackwood, former Colonial Marine captain. Confirmed. His team is planting charges on structural supports. We're losing control of multiple systems. Dr. Bell studied the treatment readings. The procedure requires another 30 minutes. Breaking synchronization now would cause permanent damage to the crystal matrix. The medical bay's secondary access panel burst inward. Security teams opened fire as Reynolds and Webb attempted to breach the perimeter. Davidson's voice echoed through the maintenance shaft, coordinating their movements with military precision. Samuel watched the cargo containers he'd arranged into defensive positions absorb weapons fire. The medical supplies for Ganymede remained secure for now, but he couldn't protect both positions simultaneously. Zaxtil's bioluminescence intensified, creating interference patterns across nearby displays. The station's hybrid systems responded unexpectedly, revealing command pathways previously hidden in the architecture. "Chief Morrison," Samuel called through the comm. "Are you seeing these security protocols?" "Affirmative. Some kind of override built into the Iridian tech. We can restore defense grid control, but the activation requires your synchronized biorhythms." The artificial gravity failed completely. Medical equipment floated free as Dr. Bell's team scrambled to secure critical systems. Samuel held the interface panel with one hand while catching a drifting container of stabilization drugs with the other. "We need to move," Dr. Bell said, activating the chamber's emergency protocols. "The security hub is 4 sections over." If we can transport the treatment chamber, the crystal matrix can't handle that kind of stress, Samuel interrupted, feeling Zaxtel's fear spike through their connection. Another explosion shook the station. Warning lights flashed as pure Earth charges damaged power distribution nodes. The treatment chamber's readings fluctuated dangerously. Options? Samuel asked, watching Reynolds and Webb regroup for another assault attempt. Dr. Bell activated a holographic station schematic. Maintenance shaft C7 leads directly to the security hub. We can route emergency power to the chamber's portable systems, but movement risks further matrix degradation. Through their quantum link, Samuel felt Zaxtel's drive. The young Iridian's consciousness pushed against his, conveying acceptance of the risk. Security teams form up, Morrison ordered. We'll clear you a path to C7. Colonial Authority vessels are incoming, but Blackwood's jamming is blocking communication. Samuel nodded to Dr. Bell. Begin transport prep. We'll need to leave the medical supplies under minimal guard. The doctor's team worked quickly, converting the crystal chamber to portable mode while security forces repelled another breach attempt. Samuel maintained constant contact with the interface panel, feeling every spike of pain as the transfer jostled Zaxtel's fragile matrix. Ready to move, Dr. Bell announced, checking the portable life support readings. Matrix stability at 4 to 7%. The security teams formed a protective ring around the chamber. Samuel kept one hand on the interface while helping guide the unit toward the maintenance shaft. Behind them, Davidson's voice grew closer as pure Earth forces pushed through adjacent sections. The station shuddered as more charges detonated. Through the quantum link, Samuel felt Zaxtel focusing their remaining strength. Together, they would need to reach the security hub before Blackwood's forces could complete their sabotage. The young Iridian's survival, along with the entire station, depended on their synchronized connection, bridging the gap between human and Iridian technology. Status displays showed dropping pressure levels throughout the compromised sections. The maintenance shaft entrance beckoned ahead as weapons fire erupted from multiple directions. Samuel guided the chamber forward, feeling Zaxtel's crystal matrix vibrate with each careful movement. Samuel released the magnetic clamps on his emergency kit, the devices floating free in the failing gravity. With practiced movements from his Mars crisis training, he secured the chamber and critical cargo containers using the powerful magnets. The equipment locked into place just as another explosion rocked the station. Morrison, I'm deploying security measures from Lucky Star, Samuel said, activating a set of compact drones through his wrist computer. Zaxtel's resonance patterns are interfering with pure Earth systems. We can use that. The drones emerged from his ship's cargo hold, their targeting systems synchronizing with the crystalline frequencies emanating from the medical chamber. Dr. Bell studied the readings on her display, eyes widening. These harmonics, they're not just interference. Zaxtel is actively stabilizing nearby systems. She adjusted several controls, enhancing the sensor resolution. The crystal matrix is producing completely new frequency patterns. Chief Engineer Cooper burst through the medical bay doors, his maintenance uniform covered in coolant stains. We've got bigger problems. Blackwood's team planted quantum-link charges throughout the primary support structures. Can we disarm them? Morrison asked, directing the security drones to form a defensive perimeter. Cooper shook his head. Not conventionally, but these readings from the Iridian. He connected his tablet to the chamber's monitoring system. These resonance patterns could disrupt the quantum linkage. We need to get the chamber to the central hub. Samuel examined the station schematics, marking potential routes. I can rig a stable transport platform using cargo handling equipment from Lucky Star. The medical team began preparations while Samuel assembled the platform, incorporating shock absorption systems and emergency power supplies. Through the quantum link, he felt Zaxtel's consciousness pulse with purpose. Plasma fire erupted from the corridor as pure Earth forces breached another section. The security drones responded automatically, their targeting systems enhanced by the crystalline frequencies. Morrison coordinated with his remaining teams, establishing choke points to slow the attackers' advance. Colonial Authority vessels establishing contact, the communications officer announced. They're using laser arrays to bypass the jamming. Samuel's wrist computer decoded the incoming transmission. Reinforcements incoming 4 to 5 minutes out. We don't have 4 to 5 minutes, Cooper said, checking the demolition charge readings. These detonators are counting down. The transport platform hummed to life as Dr. Bell's team secured the medical chamber. Samuel maintained contact with the interface panel, guiding the delicate movement through the crowded medical bay. Security feeds showed pure Earth teams cutting through bulkheads on multiple levels. They're converging on our position, Morrison reported, checking his ammunition count. We're running low on supplies. Samuel studied the maintenance shaft layout. There's another way through the Zerog sections. We can free-float the chamber through the vacuum zones. The crystal matrix is stable enough to attempt it, Dr. Bell confirmed, adjusting life support parameters. But we'll need perfect synchronization between transport and medical systems. New contacts appeared on the station's long-range sensors. The sleek forms of Iridian vessels emerged from Europa's ice field, their arrival triggering increased activity from pure Earth forces. Blackwood's accelerating the timeline, Morrison said, watching security feeds of enemy movements. We need to move now. Samuel activated the platform's vacuum seals while Dr. Bell's team prepared emergency protocols. The maintenance shaft entrance cycled open, revealing the dark expanse of the zero-gravity corridor. Through their connection, Samuel felt Zaxtil's crystal matrix vibrating in harmony with the station's systems. Beginning transport sequence, Samuel announced, engaging the platform's maneuvering thrusters. The medical chamber floated free, supported by precisely calculated magnetic fields as they entered the airless shaft. Pure Earth weapons fire impacted the closing airlock behind them, leaving glowing impact marks on the reinforced metal. Ahead lay a complex series of maintenance tubes and access junctions, each requiring exact navigation to protect the fragile crystal matrix. The race to reach the central hub had begun. The station's emergency lighting cast sharp shadows through the transparent sections of the maintenance shaft. Beyond the reinforced walls, Europa's ice-covered surface reflected sunlight in brilliant patterns. Samuel guided the chamber through the weightless environment, coordinating each movement with Dr. Bell's monitoring of Zaxtil's recovery process. Samuel engaged the transport platform's maneuvering thrusters, guiding the medical chamber through the Stark maintenance shaft. The magnetic tethers from Lucky Star's emergency systems held firm, their status lights pulsing in rhythm with Zaxtil's crystal matrix. Matrix stability holding at 52%, Dr. Bell reported from her portable monitoring station. The holographic readouts cast a blue glow across her face as she tracked the young Iridian's vital signs. A series of electromagnetic pulses rippled through the shaft, causing the magnetic tethers to fluctuate wildly. The medical chamber lurched sideways, threatening to impact the shaft wall. Samuel's hands flew across the controls, firing counterbalancing thrusters to stabilize the unit. Pure Earth EMP devices detected, Cooper's voice crackled through the emergency channel. Quantum charge countdown initiated 20 minutes to structural failure. Samuel compensated for another magnetic disturbance, his pilot's training taking over as he maintained the chamber's position. Through their quantum link, he felt Zaxtil's crystal matrix vibrating with increased intensity. The team reached a sealed bulkhead, its control panel sparking from deliberate sabotage. Morrison examined the damage through his tactical visor. Reynolds' work. They've blocked our primary route. Cooper's fingers danced across his tablet. Alternative path through Section 7 Alpha. warning solar radiation levels exceeding safety parameters due to Europa ice reflection. Samuel spotted the cargo containers of medical supplies they'd brought from Lucky Star. Those radiation shields, we can repurpose them. He directed the security drones to retrieve the shielding materials, their movements precise in the zero-gravity environment. Tours, Fletcher maintained position with the remaining supplies, Morrison ordered. Standard defensive formation. The two veterans acknowledged, taking up guard positions as Samuel and Dr. Bell's team worked to construct a makeshift radiation barrier around the medical chamber. The specialized shielding wrapped around the unit, its protective layers glowing faintly as they absorbed the intense solar energy. A massive explosion rocked the adjacent section. Debris spiraled through the maintenance shaft, creating a deadly field of shrapnel. Samuel activated the platform's defensive screens, simultaneously guiding the chamber through gaps in the chaos. Primary power failing, Cooper announced. Emergency lights activated as the station's system switched to backup power. Life support at minimal levels. The station's communication array crackled with new signals. An Iridian voice, clear despite the interference, echoed through the emergency channel. Frost Point Station, this is Valtil. We have matrix stabilization equipment prepared for emergency transfer. Pure earth jamming is preventing safe approach, Morrison responded. Colonial Authority vessels are engaging their blocking systems. Samuel monitored the quantum interference patterns spreading through the station's structure. The demolition charges were creating unexpected resonance effects, amplifying Zaxtel's natural frequencies. Through their connection, he sensed the young Iridian's growing influence over nearby systems. The crystal matrix is responding to the quantum interference, Dr. Bell observed, adjusting her instruments. These readings suggest we could extend its stabilizing effect through the main computer core. Cooper's voice carried new urgency. Multiple pure Earth signatures converging on the hub. Blackwood's deployed mobile jammers losing contact with perimeter teams. The medical chamber approached the final stretch to the central hub. Samuel engaged additional maneuvering thrusters, compensating for increasing gravitational distortions caused by the quantum charges. Metallic groans echoed through the station's superstructure as support beams absorbed the growing interference. Through the maintenance shaft's viewport, Samuel watched Europa's reflected sunlight create sharp contrasts across the station's hull. The Iridian vessels maintained their holding pattern, their crystalline forms refracting the intense light. Inside the chamber, Zaxtel's bioluminescence pulsed with growing strength, each wave synchronized with the station's failing systems. Hub access in sight, Morrison reported. Blackwood's forces are moving to intercept, preparing security measures for final approach. Samuel adjusted the transport platform's trajectory, feeling the increasing quantum distortions through the control interface. The demolition charges countdown continued as they closed the distance to the central hub, where they would attempt to merge Zaxtel's enhanced resonance with the station's core systems. The transport platform's stabilizers whined as artificial gravity fluctuations rippled through the maintenance shaft. Samuel's grip tightened on the controls, compensating for each wave of distortion. Inside the medical chamber, Zaxtel's crystal matrix pulsed with increasing intensity, creating visible patterns of energy that danced across the chamber's surfaces. These resonance patterns, Cooper said, studying his readings, they're synchronizing with the quantum charge's frequency. He connected his tablet to the chamber's monitoring system. We could use this to disrupt the demolition devices, but channeling that much energy through station systems. It would overload life support, Doctor. Bell finished, her fingers moving across the medical displays. Matrix stability at 78%, strong enough to interface, but one wrong move could shatter the entire crystalline structure. The station lurched as another power system failed. Emergency lighting flickered, casting strange shadows through the maintenance shaft. Samuel accessed Lucky Star's remote systems, transferring additional power to the medical chamber's life support. Weapons fire erupted ahead as pure Earth forces breached the central hub's outer defenses. Morrison's voice crackled through the emergency channel. Multiple breach points, establishing containment zones. Samuel interfaced with the hub's security systems, inputting his cargo pilot override codes. The massive doors cycled open, revealing the computer core's cylindrical chamber. Cooling systems hummed as quantum processors processed station data through crystalline matrices. Pure Earth teams converging on our position, Morrison reported between bursts of plasma fire. Running low on charge packs. Cooper directed the medical chamber toward the core's primary interface station. We need direct connection to channel these resonance patterns. Samuel positioned himself between the medical chamber and the computer core's access panel. The neural interface tingled as he synchronized with both systems, creating a bridge between human and Iridian technology. Demolition charges entering final countdown, Cooper announced, monitoring structural integrity feeds. Support beams showing critical stress patterns. New contacts appeared on tactical displays as colonial authority vessels broke through the jamming field. Simultaneously, Valtil's Iridian ships transmitted detailed matrix specifications. Dr. Bell studied the incoming data, adjusting interface parameters. These resonance modifications could stabilize the connection, she said, but implementation will take at least 7 minutes. Structure won't last that long, Cooper warned. Primary supports failing in multiple sections. Samuel observed the power grid's fluctuation patterns through his neural link. The failing systems created regular energy pulses that matched Zaxtel's crystal frequencies. He ran calculations through Lucky Star's navigation computer. The power failures, Samuel said, maintaining his connection to both systems. We can use them. Time the resonance transfer with the grid fluctuations. Cooper checked the power readings. That would create a cascading effect through station systems, could disrupt the quantum charges, but he looked at Samuel. You'd have to maintain physical contact during peak instability. The feedback could cause severe neural trauma. Plasma bolts impacted the defensive barriers around the central hub as pure Earth forces pushed forward. Morrison coordinated his remaining teams, their weapons fire creating a wall of energy between the attackers and the computer core. Additional contacts detected, the tactical officer announced. Private military vessels emerging from Europa's ice field, pure Earth reinforcements. Samuel initiated the power synchronization sequence, feeling electricity crawl across his skin as the station's systems responded. Through their quantum link, Zaxtel's consciousness pulsed with calculated precision, matching each power fluctuation. Matrix resonance patterns aligning, Dr. Bell reported, monitoring the crystal's stability. Preparing for system interface. Cooper activated emergency protocols, routing power through specific station sectors. Synchronization in 10 seconds. Brace for electromagnetic pulse. The medical chamber's crystal matrix glowed brighter, its energy patterns spreading through the computer core's crystalline processors. Samuel maintained his connection to both systems, muscles tensing as the power grid's fluctuations intensified. Morrison's voice cut through the growing electromagnetic interference. Outer defenses breached, pure Earth teams entering the hub. Energy cascaded through the station systems as Samuel completed the synchronization sequence. The quantum interface burned through his neural pathways as human, Iridian, and station technologies merged into a single, resonating frequency. Energy surged through Samuel's neural interface as the synchronized power transfer initiated. His muscles locked, teeth clenched against the electrical feedback coursing through his body. The medical chamber's crystalline surface rippled with waves of blue-white light that spread into the computer core's processors. "Power synchronization at 30%, Cooper called out, fingers flying across his tablet. "Life support failing in sections 12 through 15. Plasma fire lit up the hub entrance. Morrison's security team dove behind processing units as pure Earth forces breached the inner perimeter. Their weapons' fire created strobing patterns that mixed with the cascading energy waves. "Tors, seal that breach," Morrison shouted over the weapons' fire. "Fletcher, protect those medical supplies." Tors sprinted toward the environmental control station as three figures emerged from a maintenance shaft: Reynolds, Webb, and Davidson. The saboteurs' hands moved quickly across the control panels. "They're attempting emergency depressurization," Cooper warned. Tors reached the controls just as warning klaxons blared. He slammed the emergency lockdown override, sealing the bulkheads. The sudden pressure differential yanked him off his feet as the corridor beyond depressurized. "Tors is trapped," Fletcher called out, ducking behind cargo containers as plasma bolts sizzled past. "I can't reach him." Samuel's vision blurred as power fluctuations intensified. Through the quantum interface, he felt Zaxtel's consciousness pulse in precise patterns, each wave disrupting the demolition charge's quantum links. Warning indicators flashed across his suit display as systems began failing. "Neural feedback approaching dangerous levels," Dr. Bell reported, adjusting medical monitors. "We need to stabilize his vital signs." A new sound cut through the chaos, a high-pitched whine that made Samuel's teeth vibrate. Captain Blackwood strode through the breach, carrying a cylindrical device that pulsed with sonic energy. "Crystal disruptors," Morrison shouted. He launched himself toward Blackwood's position, taking a plasma bolt to his shoulder. The security chief's return fire struck the sonic weapon, shattering its emitter array before it could reach full power. "Matrix resonance at 60%, Cooper announced. "Demolition charge signatures destabilizing, but the power drain." He rerouted emergency systems, face illuminated by cascading warning displays. "Life support critical in multiple sections." Commander Sarah Bell's voice crackled through the comm system. "Colonial Authority teams have secured primary docking, moving to support your position." Samuel's muscles spasmed as another power surge ripped through the interface. The medical chamber's crystal matrix blazed with intense light, synchronized waves spreading through station systems. Through their link, he sensed Zaxtel's consciousness expanding, merging with the computer core's crystalline networks. "New problem," Cooper said, eyes widening at his readings. "The quantum destabilization is creating cascade effects in crystal processors. Network overload imminent." Dr. Bell adjusted the medical chamber's field parameters. "We need to maintain stability for 3 more minutes." Valtil's team is approaching with matrix stabilization equipment. Pure Earth forces pressed their attack, forcing Fletcher to scramble between cargo containers as he defended the medical supplies. Colonial Authority troops breached the outer hub chamber, their coordinated fire pushing Blackwood's forces back. Samuel's emergency suit systems flickered and died one by one. Sweat froze on his skin as temperature regulation failed. The quantum interface burned through his neural pathways, each power fluctuation sending waves of agony through his body. But he maintained his grip on both systems, feeling the resonance build toward critical mass. "Demolition charges at 70% destabilization," Cooper reported, manually bypassing failed power conduits. "Station structural integrity at 18%. The hub's crystal processors pulsed with increasing intensity as the quantum cascade spread through computer systems. Samuel felt the network straining against the overload, billions of crystalline connections vibrating at their resonant frequency. Through it all, Zaxtel's consciousness remained a steady anchor, guiding the energy transfer with inhuman precision. Commander Bell's teams created a defensive corridor as Valtil's Iridian vessel completed emergency docking procedures. The station shuddered as another section succumbed to structural damage. Samuel's vision dimmed, but he forced himself to maintain the connection, knowing the slightest disruption now would trigger catastrophic failure. His emergency suit's medical sensors flashed urgent warnings as his vital signs spiraled toward dangerous levels. Through the haze of neural feedback, he registered Cooper's voice shouting commands. Rerouting emergency power through tertiary conduits, Cooper's fingers danced across multiple control surfaces, primary crystal matrices showing extreme resonance fluctuations. Visible waves of energy rippled through the station's crystalline systems, creating interference patterns that distorted the air itself. Samuel's muscles burned as he maintained physical contact with both the medical chamber and core interface. Each pulse sent needles of pain through his nervous system. The station's entrance cycled open as Valtil's medical team rushed in, led by a tall Iridian carrying specialized equipment. "Senior Technician Murax," she announced, moving directly to the medical chamber. Beginning emergency matrix stabilization. Commander Bell's voice cut through the chaos. "Shield generators online. Establish defensive positions at these coordinates." Colonial Authority troops deployed portable barriers, creating a protected zone around the medical chamber as plasma fire continued to strike their position. A high-pitched tone pierced the air. Samuel saw Captain Blackwood through blurred vision, the Pure Earth commander activating a small device. The station's crystal processors instantly changed frequency, their normal blue glow taking on a sickly purple tinge. "No," Cooper breathed, staring at his readings. "They embedded sleeper code in the original crystals. The corruption is spreading through all connected systems." Samuel's neural interface burned as the malicious code collided with Zaxtel's stabilizing frequencies. The competing signals created feedback that threatened to tear his consciousness apart. Through their connection, he felt Zaxtel's matrix pulse with new patterns, generating counterfrequencies that pushed back against the corruption. "The Iridian crystal," Cooper called out, analyzing the new data. "It's producing natural defenses against the Pure Earth code, like an immune response." Morrison coordinated with his remaining security teams from behind a processor bank, blood seeping through his shoulder bandage. "We need those corrupted sections isolated now. Fletcher, maintain position with those medical supplies." The station groaned as structural supports reached their limits. Hull breach warnings flashed across multiple displays as sections began failing. Colonial Authority vessels transmitted evacuation protocols, but most crew members remained trapped in vital areas. "Samuel," Cooper's voice carried urgency. "Zaxtel's counterfrequencies could purge the corruption, but we'll need to route more power through your neural link. The feedback could cause permanent damage." Samuel nodded, unable to speak through clenched teeth. Cooper initiated the power transfer, and Samuel's world exploded into white-hot agony. Every nerve ending screamed as enhanced frequencies coursed through his body. The medical chamber's crystal matrix pulsed in sync with his racing heartbeat. "Colonial Team 7, converge on auxiliary control," Commander Bell directed as she tracked Blackwood's movement through surviving security feeds. "Kane, cut off his access to those override controls." Murax integrated Iridian stabilization equipment into the medical chamber's systems. The crystal technician's movements displayed practiced efficiency as she matched frequencies between technologies. "Human neural patterns extremely unstable," she reported. "Implementing emergency buffers." Pure Earth forces scattered throughout the station, their coordinated assault dissolving into chaos. Security feeds showed Kane's strike team closing in on Blackwood's position near auxiliary control. The station commander had almost reached the override terminal. Samuel focused on maintaining the connection despite his body's protests. Through the quantum interface, He felt Zaxtel's frequencies spreading through crystal processors, methodically cleansing corrupted sections. The counterwaves created visible ripples in the air as they encountered and destroyed pure Earth sleeper code. Matrix stabilization at 60%, Murex announced, adjusting power flows through her equipment. Corruption quarantine achieving nominal effectiveness. The medical chamber's crystal surface rippled with competing energy patterns as Samuel channeled power between systems. His emergency suit's life support failed completely, leaving him exposed to the full neural feedback of the interface. Each pulse of energy brought him closer to unconsciousness, but he held on, knowing the station's survival depended on maintaining the connection for just a few minutes longer. Coolant sprayed from emergency ducts as Cooper rerouted the cargo systems, coating Samuel's suit in a fine crystalline mist. The modified environmental controls struggled to counteract his rising body temperature as neural feedback scorched through his system. Core temperature critical, Dr. Bell announced, adjusting medical parameters, implementing emergency cooling protocols. Through the quantum interface, Samuel felt Zaxtel's consciousness expand, natural frequencies rippling outward to combat pure Earth's corruption. The young Iridian's countersignals created visible waves through the station's crystal matrices, each pulse pushing back against the viral code. Kane's voice crackled through the comm system. Target cornered in auxiliary control, moving to watch out. Plasma fire erupted through the channel. You fools, Blackwood's voice carried clearly through the exchange. Pure Earth has agents throughout Europa. This station is just the beginning. Our crystal disruptors came from your own research facilities. Commander Bell's fingers flew across tactical displays, dispatching emergency alerts to all colonial outposts. Kane, secure that position. Samuel's vision swam as Zaxtel's enhanced resonance patterns surged through the interface. The amplified frequencies accelerated through station systems, burning away corruption but threatening to overwhelm his neural pathways. Blood trickled from his nose as he channeled the expanding energy wave. Fletcher here, environmental failure in cargo section. Static crackled through the transmission, temperature dropping fast. We're losing the Ganymede supplies. Cooper's hands moved across multiple control surfaces, diverting purified matrix power to cargo stabilization. He glanced at Samuel's medical readouts. Sorry about this. The power reduction hit like a physical blow. Samuel's muscles seized as he compensated for the energy loss, forcing more current through his own connection. The medical chamber's crystal surface pulsed erratically, matching his straining heartbeat. Structural alerts flashed across status displays as crystal architecture reformed under the purge effect. Metal groaned as support beams shifted, sending tremors through the deck plating. Section 14 showing critical stress, Morrison reported through gritted teeth, his injured shoulder forgotten as he coordinated evacuation routes, moving civilians to secure zones. A sudden power surge lit up auxiliary control. Samuel felt Blackwood's failed override attempt ripple through crystal systems as pure matrices actively rejected the intrusion. Emergency lighting flickered as feedback cascaded through interface terminals. Pure Earth Command Team down, Kane transmitted, securing intelligence data from their equipment. You'll want to see this, Commander. Samuel gasped as his neural patterns shifted, adapting to the prolonged crystal exposure. The interface connection strengthened, allowing him to sense station systems without physical contact. Raw data flooded his consciousness as artificial barriers dissolved. Unprecedented neural adaptation, Murex observed, monitoring the changes through her equipment. Human synaptic patterns synchronizing with crystal frequencies. At what cost, Doctor? Bell demanded, studying Samuel's deteriorating vital signs. These modifications are becoming permanent. We're seeing cellular changes throughout his nervous system. The purification reached 8 to 7% as Samuel maintained the connection. Remaining corruption coalesced in maintenance subsystems, requiring precise application of counter-frequencies. His body trembled with effort as he directed the cleansing energy. "New problem," Cooper announced, analyzing quantum readings. "The purification is altering crystal structure at the atomic level if these changes destabilize." He left the implications unspoken. Valtil's team moved with practiced efficiency, connecting stabilization equipment to key junction points. The iridian crystals pulsed in harmony, creating a stabilizing network throughout the station's systems. Samuel focused on the maintenance sectors, pushing through waves of agony as he guided the final purge sequence. The merged human-iridian interface highlighted corruption patterns in crystalline detail, allowing precise application of counter-frequencies. Each pulse brought him closer to unconsciousness, but he maintained the delicate balance between purification and catastrophic resonance cascade. Colonial authority reinforcements secured the outer sections, as Samuel felt the crystals beginning to sing with pure, uncorrupted energy. But deep in maintenance, the last traces of viral code fought back with desperate intensity. His modified neural patterns tracked the corruption's death throes, even as his own systems approached critical failure. Through their connection, Zaxtel's consciousness provided an anchor point, helping Samuel navigate the quantum currents. Together, they pressed forward into the final phase of the purge, racing against both structural failure and Samuel's rapidly declining vital signs. Samuel gasped as new sensations flooded his consciousness. The crystal matrices pulsed with previously invisible patterns, revealing the station's underlying architecture in quantum-level detail. Through his enhanced perception, he witnessed frost point systems beginning to reconstruct themselves, purified crystal structures extending like living lattices to reinforce damaged sections. Energy patterns shifting, Cooper's hands raced across his console. The station's hybrid systems are self-repairing, using Samuel's neural interface as a template. Dr. Bell studied her medical readouts with growing concern. Peripheral nerve degradation accelerating. "We need to stabilize his cellular structure now." She activated her comm link. "Fletcher, bring those modified stasis units from the Ganymede supplies immediately." Samuel's vision fractured into crystalline fragments as another wave of reconstruction energy surged through his nervous system. The medical chamber's surface rippled beneath his hands, responding to his altered neural patterns. "Detecting unprecedented growth patterns in Zaxtel's matrix," Murex reported, adjusting her monitoring equipment. "The frequencies match human neural architecture." The Iridian technician's movements became more urgent. This synergy was not anticipated in our research. Cooper diverted power from multiple subsystems, his expression grim. "Orbital stabilizers at minimum capacity." Station maintaining position through external colonial authority support. He glanced at the structural readouts, but we're losing maintenance sector containment. A security team dragged a struggling figure past the medical chamber. Morrison limped behind them, his weapon trained on the prisoner. "Dr. Harrison," he spat, "found him trying to access the auxiliary crystal nodes." "Commander, this explains how they got their code so deep into our systems." Commander Bell activated a secure channel. "All colonial outposts initiate emergency sweep protocols. We have confirmation of pure Earth infiltration at the research level." She turned to Harrison. "Start talking." The captured scientist laughed. "You're already dead. The quantum triggers are set." The moment your precious integration succeeds, Samuel's enhanced awareness suddenly detected something shifting in the maintenance crystals. "Cooper," he managed through gritted teeth. "The virus, it's changing." Cooper's fingers flew across his displays. "Confirmed. Corruption adapting to counter-frequencies. We need a full system reset." He looked up at Commander Bell. "Never been attempted on a hybrid station of this size." "Incoming vessels detected," Morrison announced, checking tactical feeds. "Pure Earth signatures approaching from Mars orbit." Bell assessed the tactical situation. Kane, coordinate with Fleet Command, establish a defensive perimeter. She turned to Cooper. How long for the reset? 15 minutes minimum. We'll have to maintain life support manually through the procedure. Samuel's perception expanded further into the station's systems. Crystal matrices revealed structural weaknesses, power fluctuations, and the virus's new hiding places with perfect clarity. Each insight sent fresh waves of agony through his transformed nervous system. Beginning stasis procedure, Doctor. Bell announced as Fletcher arrived with the modified medical equipment. This should slow the neural deterioration without breaking his connection. The medical chamber hummed as Iridian and human technology merged around Samuel's prone form. Through the quantum interface, he felt Zaxtil's consciousness pulse with newfound strength. The young Iridian's enhanced matrix generated waves of stabilizing energy that rippled through nearby crystal systems. Pure Earth fleet approaching weapons range, Morrison reported. 7 minutes to intercept. Cooper initiated the reset sequence, redirecting all non-essential power to core systems. Samuel, we need you to maintain the connection through the reboot. Focus on life support and structural integrity. Samuel's world dissolved into pure quantum information as the reset began. Crystal matrices flickered and reformed around him as station systems went dark one by one. Through it all, he held onto those critical pathways, feeling Zaxtil's frequencies weave through his own neural patterns in an impossible dance of human and Iridian consciousness. The maintenance sector crystals pulsed with viral corruption, fighting against the reset procedure. Samuel directed purified energy through the weakened sections, burning away infection even as his own synapses threatened to collapse under the strain. The medical chamber's stasis field impossibly strong, the cascade of cellular damage spreading through his nervous system. Reset at 30%, Cooper called out. Pure Earth fleet entering minimum range. Time to weapons lock, 3 minutes. Samuel pushed deeper into the quantum interface, racing to complete the purification before their attackers arrived. The station's hybrid architecture responded to his enhanced connection, crystal matrices singing with new frequencies as human and Iridian technology achieved previously impossible synchronization. Through the pain and degradation, he felt Frost Point awakening to its true potential if they could only survive the next few minutes. Reset sequence initiating, Cooper announced, his fingers dancing across multiple interfaces. Power fluctuations rippled through the station as systems began shutting down in careful sequence, maintaining critical life support through auxiliary channels. Samuel tracked the cascading shutdowns through his enhanced perception. Each crystal matrix darkened in sequence, creating a wave of deactivation that spread through Frost Point's infrastructure. His connection allowed him to identify pockets of viral code trying to escape the purge, burning them away despite the searing pain that accompanied each deep system access. Multiple incoming missiles. Morrison's voice cut through the command channel. Defensive grid at maximum. The station shuddered as 3 impacts breached their perimeter. Warning klaxons blared as orbital stabilizers struggled to maintain position. Through the crystal interface, Samuel felt Frost Point's alignment shifting, the massive structure groaning under gravitational stress. Colonial Authority vessels expending emergency fuel for orbital correction, Kane reported. Earth's Pride moving to firing position. Admiral Graves is targeting our primary reactor housing. Dr. Bell studied her medical readouts with growing alarm. Samuel's cellular structure is showing crystalline formations. The stasis field is only delaying the process. She adjusted controls on the modified Ganymede equipment. 2 hours maximum before these changes become permanent. Samuel gasped as another wave of transformation swept through his nervous system. Through fractured vision, he watched crystal patterns forming beneath his skin, following the paths of major blood vessels. The medical chamber's surfaces pulsed in sympathy with his altered biology. Intruder alert, maintenance level 3. Security teams moved with practiced efficiency as William Parker attempted to disrupt the purification process. The senior technician's fingers flew across crystal control surfaces before Morrison's team tackled him. "You don't understand," Parker shouted as they secured his hands. "This integration will destroy everything human about us. We'll become something else entirely." Zaxtel's consciousness brushed against Samuel's through their shared connection. The young Iridian's enhanced matrix generated powerful stabilizing frequencies that accelerated the purification process. Each pulse threatened to overwhelm Samuel's neural pathways, sending cascades of agony through his transforming nervous system. "Brain tissue crystallization detected," Dr. Bell announced. "We need to disconnect him now or risk permanent neural damage." "Wait," Cooper interrupted, studying archived system schematics. "The original hybrid protocols, there's an emergency failsafe for crystal matrix overload. We can reroute through those systems, take some strain off Samuel's connection." Morrison checked his tactical display. "Those control nodes are in Section 12. Life support failed there 10 minutes ago." "Incoming vessels detected," Kane transmitted. "Iridian signatures." Medical ships responding to Valtil's call for aid. Commander Bell assessed the tactical situation. "Kane, coordinate with Colonial Authority forces. Create a safe approach vector for those medical vessels." Morrison, dispatch teams in environmental suits to Section 12. Cooper needs access to those failsafe controls. Samuel's enhanced awareness suddenly expanded as Pure Earth's virus launched a final desperate adaptation. The corrupted code attempted to merge with Frost Point's defensive systems, threatening to turn the station's weapons against their incoming Iridian allies. He drove his consciousness deep into the infected subsystems, containing the outbreak through direct neural interface. The effort sent feedback cascading through his body. Medical alarms screamed as his vital signs spiraled into dangerous territory. The crystalline formations accelerated, spreading through tissue and bone as his physiology underwent impossible changes. Through the haze of pain and transformation, Samuel perceived new patterns forming in Frost Point's crystal matrices. Human and Iridian technologies merged and evolved, creating hybrid configurations that defied conventional engineering. The station's system sang with newfound harmony as centuries of separate development finally achieved true synthesis. "Neural suspension equipment standing by," Dr. Bell reported, watching Samuel's deteriorating condition. "One more spike like that and we'll have no choice." The medical chamber's crystal surfaces rippled with strange new frequencies as Samuel maintained his connection to the station's transforming systems. Security teams escorted emergency technicians through depressurized corridors toward Section 12's failsafe controls, while Colonial Authority vessels engaged Pure Earth forces, clearing a path for approaching Iridian medical ships. Time grew short as Samuel's body balanced on the edge of irreversible change, the price of progress measured in human cells gradually becoming something more than human. Through the quantum interface, Samuel tracked Lieutenant Wilson's environmental suit signals as the engineering teams advanced through Frost Point's damaged sections. Their vital signs pulsed like distant stars in his enhanced perception, while they worked to implement Cooper's emergency hybrid protocols. "First control node accessed," Wilson reported through his suit comm, initiating manual override sequence. Crystal surfaces flickered as power redirected through long-dormant safety systems. The medical chamber's displays flashed red as another transformation wave hit Samuel. Crystal formations spread across his chest in fractal patterns while his heart rhythm destabilized. "Implementing cardiovascular support," Dr. Bell announced. She pressed a neural regulator against Samuel's neck, maintaining critical functions until the Iridian medical teams arrive. The station shuddered as pure Earth vessels launched their second assault wave. Through crystal-enhanced senses, Samuel felt two colonial authority ships taking critical hits while screening the approaching Iridian vessels. "Defensive pattern Delta 7, Commander Bell ordered. "Concentrate fire on their missile platforms. Those medical ships must reach our emergency docking ports." Cooper's fingers danced across multiple interfaces as he adapted captured pure Earth technology. Quantum dampening configurations downloaded, beginning modifications for biological stabilization. Samuel's awareness expanded into the defensive grid just as the virus launched its new attack pattern. Corrupted code wormed through crystal matrices, attempting to split human and Iridian components at the molecular level. The strain of containing the separation threatened to stop his heart despite Dr. Bell's interventions. "Second control node activated," Wilson transmitted. His team's suit readings showed elevated stress levels as they worked in the zero-gravity environment. "Third node chamber has hull breach, proceeding with manual bridge procedure." Through the crystalline network, Samuel detected the virus's presence spreading deeper into weapons control. He diverted more focus to containing the corruption, each effort sending fresh waves of pain through his transforming nervous system. "Iridian vessels docking at emergency medical ports," Kane reported. Senior Crystal Specialist Kurax requesting immediate access to primary medical. The medical chamber's doors cycled open as the Iridian team arrived with their prototype stabilization equipment. Kurax's crystalline appendages interfaced directly with the chamber's systems, generating new harmonic patterns that resonated with Samuel's altered biology. "Previous synchronization data correlates with current readings," Kurax announced. "Implementing quantum stabilization protocols." Samuel watched through fractured vision as Morrison's security teams intercepted pure Earth boarding pods. The station's orbital stabilizers groaned under the strain of combat maneuvers, while engineering crews fought to maintain position above Europa's atmosphere. "Power systems at critical threshold," Cooper announced. "We need those captured ship cores integrated now." He transmitted targeting data to Colonial Authority boarding teams. "Disable their self-destruct systems first." Zaxtel's frequencies pulsed through the crystal matrices, helping regulate Samuel's transformation. But the young Iridian's power output became increasingly erratic. Valtil's medical team registered growing instability in their charge's core crystal structure. Wilson's voice crackled through damaged comm systems. "Third node bridge complete. Standing by for final activation sequence." Samuel's heart nearly stopped as the virus launched another separation attack. Through his quantum-enhanced connection, he perceived pure Earth's hidden modifications throughout Frost Point's original hybrid systems. Years of careful sabotage revealed themselves in complex patterns of corrupted code. "Implementing modified dampening field," Cooper announced. The captured pure Earth technology merged with Frost Point systems, generating new stabilizing frequencies that resonated with Samuel's crystalline structures. His transformation accelerated toward its critical threshold as human cells merged with crystal matrices in impossible patterns. The medical team faced their crucial decision: attempt reversal or embrace humanity's next evolutionary step. Through it all, Samuel maintained his connection to Frost Point systems, fighting to preserve the delicate balance between human and Iridian technology while his own body underwent its profound metamorphosis. The virus continued its relentless attacks as pure Earth forces pressed their assault, forcing everyone aboard to operate at the very limits of their capabilities. Kurax's crystalline appendages pulsed with bioresonant frequencies as the Iridian medical team initiated their stabilization protocols. Status displays flickered with new data as Samuel's neural patterns stabilized at 43% crystalline conversion. "Partial stability achieved," Kurax announced, manipulating quantum field controls. Human neural architecture accepting crystal matrix integration at sustainable levels. Dr. Bell studied the transformed readouts, implementing adaptive dampening field. She adjusted controls on the captured pure earth equipment, merging its output with the Iridian medical systems. The hybrid field wrapped Samuel in carefully modulated frequencies, slowing his transformation to manageable levels. Through the crystal interface, Samuel perceived Wilson's team completing their emergency repairs. Sparks cascaded through Section 12 as the final control node came online. Power fluctuations smoothed out as Cooper integrated the modified pure Earth technology into Frost Point systems. Power efficiency increased by 30%, Cooper transmitted. The anti-integration crowd accidentally improved our hybrid systems. A violent impact rocked the station. Samuel's enhanced senses detected 3 pure Earth vessels on suicide trajectories. Colonial Authority ships intercepted 2, but the third designated Earth's Vengeance, smashed through their defensive screen. Hull breach in cargo processing. Morrison's voice carried tension. Fletcher's team still defending medical supplies. Through security feeds, Samuel watched Fletcher activate containment protocols despite severe injuries from falling debris. Emergency bulkheads slammed shut as atmosphere vented into space. New alarms blared as the crashed ship's damaged power core generated disruptive quantum patterns. Samuel's neural readings spiked dangerously as the interference threatened to accelerate his transformation. Core resonance affecting stabilization field, Dr. Bell reported. Neural activity approaching critical threshold. Zaxtel's crystal matrix pulsed with protective frequencies, shielding Samuel from the worst effects, but the young Iridian's power output became increasingly erratic. Zaxtel's core matrix destabilizing, Valtil announced, reducing protective field to preserve essential functions. The reduction hit Samuel like a physical blow. Crystal formation spread faster across his skin as the quantum interference intensified. Through fractured perception, he watched Colonial Authority demolitions experts racing to neutralize the crashed ship's core. Pure Earth database recovered from captured vessels, Morrison transmitted. His teams had discovered files revealing Dr. Harrison's secret integration experiments. Samuel's genetic markers made him compatible with crystal tech. He was specifically targeted. Dr. Marcus Reynolds' voice joined the command channel. Similar markers present in 0.1% of humans. Natural compatibility exists between our species. Samuel's memories began converting to crystalline patterns as the hybrid systems achieved 93% purification. Each transformed memory felt sharper, yet somehow alien human experiences translated into Iridian neural architecture. Memory conversion accelerating, Dr. Bell noted. Implementing neural pattern preservation protocols. Captain Blackwood's voice carried from the detention center. Previous integration attempts failed catastrophically. Your success makes you valuable and dangerous. Colonial Authority vessels moved into defensive positions around Frost Point as Samuel continued his transformation, balanced between human and Iridian states, while pure Earth sleeper agents throughout the Jupiter system prepared their response to humanity's first successful hybrid integration. Samuel perceived it all through his crystal-enhanced awareness. The station's evolving systems, the medical team's efforts to preserve his humanity, and the growing ripples of change spreading outward from Frost Point into the solar system's complex political web. His transformed consciousness expanded through the hybrid matrices as human and Iridian technologies achieved new levels of synchronization, each moment bringing fresh challenges that would reshape both species' shared future. Samuel's crystalline-enhanced consciousness registered new patterns emerging in the hybrid matrices. The quantum dampening field pulsed as his transformation stabilized at 48% conversion, creating an equilibrium between his human and crystal components. Detecting unusual neural formation, Dr. Bell announced, studying the medical displays. The crystalline structures are self-organizing into interface nodes. Dr. Mitchell stepped forward from the newly arrived Phoenix Dawn medical team, her eyes scanning the complex data patterns. These formations mirror mature iridian matrices, but maintain human neural characteristics. The integration is creating an entirely new neural architecture. The station's security systems flashed red. Chief Morrison's voice cut through the command channel. Multiple system breaches detected. Pure Earth sleeper programs activating in auxiliary computers. Samuel tracked the intrusion attempts through his hybrid interface. The viral code spread like frost across crystal surfaces, probing for weaknesses. Through security feeds, he watched Morrison and the Colonial Authority cyber warfare team trace the attacks to their source. Hidden server room located, Morrison transmitted. Section 8, behind environmental control housing. Dr. Harrison's backup system is active. The medical chamber shuddered as Cooper's engineering teams constructed makeshift radiation shielding around the crashed Pure Earth vessel. Lieutenant Wilson directed cargo handling equipment modified to contain the ship's destabilizing core. Power core extraction commencing, Wilson reported. Crystal matrix stability at 60% and holding. The engineering team's salvage operation revealed weapon schematics in the ship's database. Samuel processed the technical data through his hybrid neural structure Pure Earth, had developed specialized weapons targeting the very integration his body now embodied. Captain Reed's voice carried authority through the command channel. Phoenix Dawn medical teams deploying to all critical sections. Dr. Mitchell, begin implementing hybrid treatment protocols. Fletcher's voice joined from the medical bay. The Ganymede supplies specialized containers in my ship's hold can preserve what's left. Security code Delta 97. Colonial Authority teams rushed to salvage the critical medical supplies as environmental systems failed in the damaged cargo section. Samuel diverted power to maintain atmosphere containment, each adjustment sending ripples through his transforming nervous system. Warning klaxons blared. Admiral Graves' forces launched their final assault specialized boarding pods carrying Pure Earth strike teams and crystal disruptor weapons. 3 pods impacted the outer hull, plasma torches cutting through Frost Point's armor. Multiple hull breaches imminent, Morrison announced. Security teams to external access points 3, 7, and 12. Through crystal-enhanced senses, Samuel detected the backup virus worming through life support controls. The corrupt code patterns threatened to separate human and iridian systems at a fundamental level. Direct confrontation with the viral attack would accelerate his transformation beyond safe limits. Cooper here, working on viral purge protocols. Samuel, maintain passive monitoring only. We can't risk pushing your conversion rate any higher. In the medical chamber, Zaxtil's crystal matrix pulsed with renewed strength. The young iridian structure incorporated stabilizing frequencies generated by Samuel's transformation. Remarkable, Valtil observed. The hybrid resonance patterns are promoting crystal regeneration. Both species' healing capabilities are being enhanced by this interaction. Dr. Mitchell's team calibrated their equipment to merge with the iridian medical systems, implementing modified dampening field. This should help preserve human memory patterns during crystalline conversion. Samuel's hybrid awareness expanded through the station systems as multiple crises converged. Pure Earth strike teams breached the hull. The backup virus threatened life support. Critical medical supplies deteriorated in failing environmental systems. His transformation balanced on a knife's edge between human and iridian states. Through it all, his new neural architecture continued to evolve, bridging the gap between two species technologies in ways neither side had imagined possible. The hybrid interface nodes grew more sophisticated with each passing moment. revealing new possibilities hidden in the synthesis of human and Iridian systems. Samuel's hybrid interface nodes pulsed with new data as warning signals cascaded through Frost point systems. The backup virus infiltrated life support controls, triggering rapid atmospheric degradation across multiple sectors. Primary air recyclers failing, Cooper transmitted, initiating emergency containment protocols. His engineering team sealed off compromised sections, rerouting power through secondary systems. Through his crystalline-enhanced perception, Samuel traced the virus's pattern through the station's networks. The code structure revealed a sophisticated dual-target design meant to exploit vulnerabilities in both human and Iridian architectures. The medical chamber's displays flashed red as three massive impacts shook the station. Pure Earth boarding pods punctured the outer hull, their specialized cutting tools slicing through reinforced plating. "Breaches confirmed," Morrison announced. Pure Earth strike teams deploying crystal disruptor weapons, all security personnel to defense positions. The disruptors emitted localized quantum distortions that rippled through Samuel's partially crystalline body. His vital signs fluctuated wildly as the weapons interfered with his ongoing transformation. Dr. Mitchell adjusted controls on her newly installed hybrid life support equipment. Quantum dampening field at maximum, implementing memory preservation protocols. The modified Pure Earth technology merged with Iridian medical systems, creating a protective cocoon of stabilizing energy. Memory pattern retention at 82%, Dr. Bell reported. Neural architecture maintaining cohesion. Through security feeds, Samuel watched Morrison coordinate with Commander Bell's Colonial Authority Marines. They established defensive positions around the breach points, plasma rifles charged to repel Pure Earth boarders. A violent tremor rocked the station as Earth's vengeance suffered a catastrophic core breach. Quantum radiation flooded the cargo section, creating interference patterns that amplified Samuel's connection to station systems. His consciousness expanded through crystal matrices, processing data at unprecedented speeds. Core radiation affecting transformation rate, Dr. Mitchell warned. Vital signs becoming erratic. Lieutenant Wilson's voice cut through the chaos. Engineering team moving to contain radiation spread. Fletcher's medical supplies at risk of contamination. In the adjacent chamber, Zaxtel's crystal matrix pulsed with renewed vigor. The young Iridian absorbed stabilizing frequencies generated by Samuel's transformation, accelerating his own recovery. The synchronized matrices created a natural barrier against Pure Earth's viral assault. Power demands increasing, Cooper transmitted. Zaxtel's enhanced healing is drawing additional energy from emergency reserves. Commander Bell's tactical display updated with new intelligence data. 17 potential integration candidates identified throughout Jupiter colonies. Pure Earth will target them next, sending emergency alerts now. The Phoenix Dawn medical transport completed its docking sequence, despite Pure Earth attempts to sabotage the connection points. Colonial Authority security teams maintained a protective cordon as Dr. Mitchell's staff transferred specialized hybrid equipment. Samuel's transformation reached 53% crystalline conversion. His hybrid neural structure generated unique energy signatures that interacted with previously neutralized Pure Earth demolition charges. Detection quantum resonance between Samuel's matrix and dormant explosives, Cooper reported. These interactions could either stabilize our systems or tear the station apart. Pure Earth strike teams breached the outer defensive line, crystal disruptors sending waves of destabilizing energy through corridor matrices. Samuel diverted power to reinforce critical systems, while Morrison's security teams engaged the intruders with precise bursts of plasma fire. Through it all, Samuel maintained his delicate balance between human and Iridian states, processing the flood of sensor data as Frost Point's crew fought to contain multiple cascading crises. His hybrid consciousness expanded through the station's networks, searching for solutions hidden in the merged technologies of two worlds. The quantum radiation flooding from Earth's vengeance created unexpected resonance patterns throughout Frost Point's crystal matrices. Samuel's hybrid neural structure absorbed and amplified these patterns, exponentially increasing his connection to station systems. Energy signatures spiking, Cooper announced, monitoring the engineering displays. Samuel's interface capabilities are expanding beyond predicted parameters. Through his enhanced connection, Samuel detected the pure Earth viral corruption threading through life support controls. The quantum dampening fields responded to his mental commands, creating precise containment barriers around infected systems. Remarkable, Cooper transmitted. He's directly manipulating the dampening fields, viral spread contained in sectors 3 through 7. In the damaged cargo section, Specialist Marcus Drake led his Colonial Authority demolitions team through the wreckage of the Pure Earth vessel. They carefully extracted the unstable power core while scanning for additional hazards. "Sir," Drake called to his superior. Hidden compartment beneath the auxiliary controls, crystal matrix processors detected. The processors pulsed with encrypted data. Drake's scanner revealed their self-destruct mechanisms, primed to trigger at the slightest disruption. "Maintain power regulation," he ordered. "Security needs this intelligence intact." 3 massive explosions rocked the station. Pure Earth assault teams breached maintenance shafts using prototype phase-shift devices that temporarily destabilized the crystal hull plating. Morrison's security teams engaged the boarders in close-quarters combat, plasma rifles illuminating the corridors with deadly energy. "Hull integrity compromised in sections 12 and 15, Wilson reported. "Emergency seals failing." Engineering teams responding. In the medical bay, Dr. Mitchell examined the crystalline growths emerging from Samuel's transformed tissue. The new formations generated interference patterns that naturally repelled Pure Earth's viral attacks. "Conversion rate accelerating," she announced. 58% and rising. But these crystal structures are providing vital data on successful human-Iridian integration. Besides Samuel, Zaxtel's matrix pulse synchronized with the hybrid patterns. A shimmering field expanded outward, purging corrupt code from nearby systems. Both patients' vital signs fluctuated as the power draw increased. "Remarkable symbiosis," Valtil observed, adjusting stabilization fields. "But we must carefully manage their energy expenditure." Wilson's engineering teams restored primary power distribution while methodically removing Pure Earth sabotage devices. They maintained critical power flow to the medical bay, where Dr. Mitchell's team made another breakthrough. "Genetic analysis confirms molecular-level changes," she reported, studying data from the Phoenix Dawn's specialized sensors. "These hybrid traits show markers for hereditary transmission." Fletcher regained consciousness nearby, immediately attempting to rise. "The supplies," he gasped. "Hidden compartments in my ship, emergency stabilizers." Colonial Authority teams located the concealed storage units, retrieving prototype cellular stabilizers designed for deep space emergencies. Dr. Bell quickly adapted the compound to help regulate Samuel's transformation. From the detention center, Captain Blackwood's voice carried an ominous warning. Pure Earth found ancient Iridian prophecies about hybrid beings. They feared such integration would fundamentally alter humanity's path. Through his enhanced awareness, Samuel tracked the mounting crises throughout the station. Pure Earth forces breached multiple sections. The viral corruption probed for weaknesses. Power systems risked overload from the strain of maintaining critical functions. His hybrid capabilities provided unprecedented control over Frost Point's integrated systems, but each interaction pushed his transformation further. The quantum radiation from Earth's vengeance continued to flood through damaged sectors, creating new resonance patterns that amplified both his powers and the risks of losing his remaining humanity. Admiral Graves' forces pressed their attack while Samuel balanced on the edge of a transformation that could reshape humanity's future or tear the station apart at its quantum crystalline seams. Quantum radiation cascading through the stations, damaged sectors interacted with Samuel's transforming neural structure, creating unexpected interference patterns that stabilized his conversion rate. The crystalline formations throughout his body pulsed with a steady blue luminescence as the transformation settled at 6 to 3%. Crystalline conversion holding steady, Dr. Mitchell announced, studying the medical bay's enhanced sensor displays. The radiation is actually helping maintain equilibrium. Through his hybrid interface, Samuel detected new connections forming between his consciousness and Frost Point systems. Crystal matrices throughout the station responded to his presence, damaged sections regenerating under his influence. "Look at this," Cooper transmitted, his voice tight with controlled excitement. "The hybrid interfaces are initiating automated repairs." Hull integrity increasing in sectors 5 through 8. A violent shudder rippled through the station. Admiral Graves' flagship launched a spread of dark objects toward Frost Point's perimeter. Commander Bell's tactical display highlighted the incoming threats. "Multiple resonance bombs detected," Bell announced. "Colonial Authority vessels moving to intercept." Defense turrets tracked the weapons with precision plasma fire, detonating 2 devices in spectacular quantum cascades. 3 bombs slipped through, magnetic grapples securing them to the outer hull with metallic thuds that echoed through the structure. Samuel's enhanced senses detected the weapon's distinct quantum signature. The devices emitted familiar frequencies, a modified version of the dampening field currently stabilizing his transformation. Morrison's security teams deployed to the impact sites in vacuum-sealed combat gear. Containment units moving into position. Engineering support required for safe disarmament. Lieutenant Wilson coordinated with the security teams, his engineers setting up portable shield generators around the bombs, detecting similar quantum dampening components to our medical systems. "Cooper, you seeing this?" "Confirmed," Cooper responded. "We can repurpose these devices to reinforce the medical bay's containment field. Sending extraction protocols now." The Phoenix Dawn's advanced sensor suite registered a new development in Samuel's condition. His neural structure generated protective quantum fields that extended outward, shielding nearby crystal matrices from harmful interference. "Fascinating," Dr. Mitchell observed. "His hybrid biology is developing natural defenses against pure Earth's weapons." The integration is more complete than we anticipated. In the adjacent chamber, Zaxtil's crystal matrix synchronized with Samuel's hybrid patterns. Energy flowed between them in visible waves, accelerating both patients' recovery. Valtil monitored the interaction with intense focus. "The symbiotic connection strengthens both subjects," Valtil reported. New crystal formations appearing with enhanced viral resistance. Colonial Authority cryptographers transmitted urgent data to Commander Bell's tactical station. "Sir, we've decoded more of Harrison's database. 17 potential integration candidates identified throughout Jupiter colonies, dispatching rapid response teams." Fletcher pushed himself up from his recovery bed, moving with careful willpower to the security console. "Their boarding tactics suggest upgraded phase-shift technology. We can counter by modulating shield harmonics to match their quantum signature." Morrison implemented Fletcher's suggestions, adjusting defensive measures as pure Earth forces pressed their attack. Security teams engaged the boarders with coordinated precision, gradually pushing them back from vital station sections. Cooper's engineering team salvaged critical components from Earth's vengeance, stabilizing Frost Point's power grid. Samuel's hybrid connection optimized the distribution automatically, exceeding the system's original specifications. Through crystal-enhanced senses, Samuel observed Admiral Graves' flagship holding position just beyond weapons range. The Earth's Pride maintained its threatening stance as colonial authority forces secured Frost Point's outer sections, its weapons primed for the next phase of the assault. Dr. Bell calibrated the modified containment field, integrating salvaged pure Earth technology with the medical bay's existing systems. The enhanced barrier solidified around Samuel and Zaxtel, protecting them from further interference while allowing their beneficial interaction to continue. A series of brilliant flashes erupted from Earth's Pride as Admiral Graves launched his next offensive. Specialized EMP devices streaked toward Frost Point, their quantum disruption fields creating rippling distortions in the station's protective barriers. Multiple impacts detected, Cooper announced. EMP projectors activating across medical sectors, shield generators experiencing severe interference. Samuel's enhanced awareness tracked the spreading disruption fields. Through crystalline corridors, maintenance crews in radiation suits moved to neutralize the devices, while Cooper's engineering team rerouted emergency power to reinforce failing shields. Containment field stability at 60%, Dr. Mitchell reported, adjusting medical bay controls, implementing backup protocols. A new vessel emerged from hyperspace, its sleek profile identified as the Colonial Authority medical frigate Horizon's Dawn. Captain Sarah Hayes' voice came through clear on priority channels. Frost Point Command, we're moving to assist. Quantum stabilization equipment ready for transfer. Dr. Mitchell's team coordinated with Horizon's Dawn, establishing a secure corridor for equipment transfer. The specialized crystal research gear arrived in reinforced containers, each unit precisely calibrated for deep space applications. In the maintenance sectors, Samuel detected a disturbing shift in viral patterns. Pure Earth's code evolved, merging with damaged crystal matrices in a desperate bid for survival. Corruption spread through secondary power conduits toward life support systems. Emergency shutdown required in sectors 9 through 11, Cooper transmitted. Chief Morrison, begin immediate evacuation. Security teams directed personnel through emergency routes while engineering crews isolated compromised systems. Samuel's hybrid neural structure provided real-time tracking of the viral spread, allowing precise containment measures. Remarkable progress, Dr. Mitchell observed, studying Samuel's latest readings. Crystalline conversion at 6 to 7%, neural patterns holding stable. Look at this cellular integration, he's actually repairing damaged systems within range. The medical bay hummed with activity as technicians installed Horizon's Dawn stabilization equipment. The enhanced containment field solidified, creating a pristine environment for Samuel's continuing transformation. A sudden quantum surge rocked the station. In the outer hull sections, Lieutenant Wilson's engineering team had successfully extracted 2 pure Earth resonance bombs. The third device activated during removal, releasing a concentrated disruption field. Field density increasing, Wilson reported. Nearby matrices destabilizing. Need immediate containment support. Samuel felt the disruptive waves threatening his transformation process. Dr. Mitchell's team quickly adjusted field parameters while engineers worked to neutralize the active device. Through it all, Zaxtel's presence provided a stabilizing anchor, their synchronized matrices generating protective harmonics. Full recovery confirmed for patient Zaxtel, Valtil announced. Hybrid resonance patterns exceeding expected efficiency. Viral corruption purge rate accelerating in connected systems. Fletcher coordinated with colonial authority vessels, organizing protection details for identified integration candidates. Pure Earth operatives detected near Europa colonies. implementing immediate extraction protocols. Chief Engineer Cooper's modified power network came online section by section, incorporating salvaged pure Earth components with hybrid crystal configurations. The enhanced system isolated remaining corruption while improving compatibility between human and Iridian technology. Power distribution stabilized, Cooper reported. Hybrid patterns holding. Beginning replication across damaged sectors. Commander Bell received updated intelligence from cryptography teams, revealing Pure Earth's hidden network of anti-integration facilities. Coordinating with Fleet Command now. We need to locate these bases before they can mobilize additional forces. Through crystal-enhanced senses, Samuel monitored Admiral Graves' flagship maintaining its threatening position. Earth's Pride's weapons remained primed, energy signatures suggesting additional offensive capabilities still untapped. But within Frost Point's reinforced medical bay, Samuel's transformation continued under carefully controlled conditions, each moment bringing new insights into the integration of two worlds' technologies. The modified containment field pulsed with steady blue energy, protecting its hybrid patient, while Horizon's Dawn's specialized equipment provided unprecedented stability. Security teams maintained vigilant watch as engineering crews worked to fully neutralize Pure Earth's remaining devices, preparing for whatever challenge Admiral Graves might unleash next. A surge of energy signatures erupted from Earth's Pride. Dozens of sleek maintenance drones launched from concealed bays, their hulls modified with crystalline disruptor arrays that pulsed with an ominous red glow. Multiple autonomous units detected, Commander Bell announced. Configuration matches standard repair drones, but these are heavily modified. Through crystal-enhanced senses, Samuel tracked the drones' approach vectors. Their quantum signatures created rippling distortions in his perception, broadcasting interference patterns that probed his neural structure. Cooper's hands flew across engineering controls, implementing emergency countermeasures. Wilson, route power to sections 3 through 7. We'll use the salvage dampening tech to create barrier fields. The drones split into tactical groups, targeting damaged hull sections with precision. Their scanning beams penetrated the station's outer layers, analyzing crystal patterns with uncomfortable thoroughness. They're not just attacking, they're collecting data, Dr. Mitchell observed, studying sensor readings. These drones are equipped with advanced crystal analysis systems. Samuel felt pressure building in his transformed tissues as his body responded to the intrusion. New crystalline structures emerged along his spine, spreading through adjacent matrices in geometric patterns. The medical bay's monitors tracked his accelerating changes. Conversion at 7 to 2%, Dr. Mitchell announced. But vital signs remained stable. His hybrid physiology is adapting to counter the interference. The defensive protocols generated localized barrier fields around vital access points. Several drones impacted against the energy screens, their disruption fields creating cascading ripples of quantum interference. Security teams to maintenance shaft Delta, Morrison transmitted. Multiple drones attempting to breach secondary hull plating. Through crystalline corridors, Samuel's awareness detected familiar frequencies emanating from Harrison's holding cell. Security scanners highlighted quantum transmitters hidden within the captured operative's equipment, their signals triggering dormant viral code. Detection in deep maintenance, Cooper reported. Harrison systems are activating sleeper programs, beginning emergency purge protocols. The Horizon's Dawn's transferred equipment hummed with increasing power as technicians calibrated the enhanced containment field. Samuel's neural structure generated new interface protocols that merged seamlessly with the stabilization systems. Captain Hayes coordinated with colonial authority vessels, tracking encrypted transmissions between Earth's Pride and distant locations. Multiple signals detected heading toward Saturn, Decryption reveals coordinates for pure Earth facilities. Dispatching strike teams to those locations, Commander Bell confirmed. We can't let them retain those integration suppression weapons. Lieutenant Wilson's engineering team worked methodically around the previously activated resonance bomb, applying hybrid power configurations that neutralized its quantum disruption field. Sir, these weapons specifically target incompatibilities between our technologies. Samuel's integration naturally counters their effects. Through secured channels, reports arrived of successful evacuations. 12 integration candidates secured, Fletcher transmitted. Medical screening confirms varying compatibility levels, establishing protected facilities for assessment. Cooper analyzed the drone control frequencies, his expression brightening. The interference patterns become unstable when exposed to Samuel and Zaxtel's synchronized frequencies. We can use that. Engineering teams modified defensive arrays, broadcasting the hybrid resonance patterns. Several drones spiraled out of control, their disruption fields collapsing under the targeted frequencies. Expanding broadcast range, Cooper announced, targeting remaining drone clusters. Samuel's enhanced awareness extended through the station's systems, crystal matrices adapting to incorporate the new defensive protocols. The medical bay's containment field pulsed with steady blue energy as his transformation continued under carefully controlled conditions. Through it all, Earth's pride maintained its threatening position, Admiral Graves watching as his first wave of modified drones scattered under the station's enhanced defenses. But Samuel detected power building in the flagship's primary weapons array, suggesting this technological skirmish represented only the opening moves in pure Earth's evolving strategy. A blinding flash erupted from Earth's Pride's ventral hull as specialized insertion pods launched toward Frost Point. The sleek vessels phased through conventional space, their quantum signatures flickering like heat mirages. Phase-shifted pods detected, Cooper announced, tracking their ethereal trajectories. They're passing directly through our outer defenses. The pods breached Frost Point's hull near the medical bay, their modified shells temporarily solidifying to deposit pure Earth assault teams. Armored figures emerged carrying angular devices that pulsed with deep crimson energy. Neural disruptors, Dr. Mitchell identified, scanning the weapon's emissions. They're designed to forcibly separate integrated neural patterns. Samuel's crystal-enhanced senses detected the intruder's approach through multiple access corridors. Their phase-shift technology created rippling distortions in his perception, like oil spreading across water. The medical bay's containment field fluctuated as the neural disruptors activated. Blue energy waves destabilized, threatening to collapse the carefully maintained transformation environment. Rerouting emergency power through hybrid crystals, Cooper transmitted. Samuel, we need your neural patterns to stabilize these connections. Samuel's consciousness expanded through the station's crystal matrices. His transformed tissues generated new interface protocols, merging with the power distribution network. The containment field steadied, reinforced by quantum dampening barriers derived from his hybrid structure. Crystalline conversion at 76%, Dr. Mitchell reported. His systems are actively countering the disruption effects. Security Chief Morrison coordinated with Colonial Authority Marines streaming from Horizon's Dawn. Establish containment zones here, here, and here, he directed, marking tactical positions. Use the modified dampening fields to restrict their phase-shift capabilities. Through crystal-enhanced awareness, Samuel detected the boarding party accessing restricted technical databases. Their quantum computers extracted data about his neural patterns, transmitting specifications back to Earth's Pride. They're trying to weaponize the integration process, Commander Bell observed. Wilson, status on those orbital stabilizers. Critical failures detected. Wilson responded from engineering. Phase-shifted troops damaged power distribution nodes. Stations experiencing gravitational stress from Europa. Colonial Authority vessels adjusted their defensive positions, compensating for Frost Point's orbital instability. Engineering crews installed hybrid crystal configurations in damaged systems. Samuel's transformed patterns providing templates for emergency repairs. Fletcher's voice cut through tactical channels. Medical transport Sierra 7 under attack. Pure Earth interceptors targeting integration candidates. Horizon's Dawn moving to assist, Captain Hayes announced. Quantum dampening fields active. The medical bay's enhanced containment field pulsed steadily as Samuel's transformation accelerated. His hybrid neural structure generated protective harmonics that spread through adjacent systems, shielding Iridian technology from Pure Earth's disruption attempts. Fascinating, Dr. Mitchell noted, studying the effect. His integration is creating natural countermeasures to their weapons. Cooper's engineering team completed installation of salvaged quantum dampening arrays. The modified barriers solidified around critical sections, forcing Pure Earth's phase-shifted troops to materialize or risk molecular destabilization. Dampening fields operational, Cooper confirmed. Replicating configurations across all sectors. Samuel tracked the phase-shifted intruders through crystalline corridors. Their neural disruptors proved ineffective against his evolving hybrid patterns, each attempt to separate his integrated consciousness only strengthening the bonds between human and Iridian technologies. Commander Bell received updated tactical data from cryptography units. Primary Pure Earth facility located in Saturn's rings. Strike teams moving to secure their research archives. The medical bay's reinforced containment field held steady as Admiral Graves committed his remaining forces. Pure Earth troops converged on multiple access points, their phase-shift technology partially negated by spreading quantum dampening fields. Samuel's hybrid awareness expanded through Frost Point's crystal matrices, his transformed systems providing increasingly sophisticated defenses against Pure Earth's anti-integration weapons. Through it all, Zaxtel's stabilizing presence anchored his accelerating transformation, their synchronized patterns generating protective harmonics that rippled through the station's enhanced barriers. The enhanced defensive harmonics rippled through adjacent systems when 3 blinding flashes lit the corridor outside the medical bay. Pure Earth troops breached the final security barrier, their neural disruptors generating crimson interference patterns that clashed against the containment field's steady blue pulse. Contact! Morrison's voice cut through tactical channels. All units, engage hostiles at Junction 7. Colonial Authority Marines exchanged fire with the intruders, their hybrid crystal-enhanced weapons piercing the phase-shifted armor. Samuel tracked the battle through crystalline sensors, his awareness expanding as new formations emerged along his spine. Crystalline conversion at 79%, Dr. Mitchell announced, fingers flying across medical displays. Neural patterns show increased resistance to disruption attempts. Cooper's engineering team rerouted power through emergency conduits, implementing pattern Sigma. Samuel, your hybrid frequencies are spreading through our systems. The medical bay's containment field stabilized as Samuel's crystal matrices replicated through connected systems. His transformed tissues generated geometric patterns that reinforced quantum barriers, creating layered defenses against Pure Earth's weapons. Sir, they're switching tactics, Wilson reported. New weapons detected crystal matrix disruptors. Through secured channels, Fletcher coordinated evacuation efforts. Integration candidates secure on medical transport. 3 subjects showing early crystal formation, proceeding to Ganymede facilities. Sleek maintenance drones launched from Horizon's Dawn, their hulls gleaming with Colonial Authority combat modifications. The automated units established interlocking fields around Samuel and Zaxtel's synchronized matrices. Secondary containment active, Dr. Mitchell confirmed. Their combined frequencies are generating natural countermeasures. Samuel's hybrid awareness detected pure Earth troops accessing hidden maintenance shafts, concealed passages that explained their previous infiltration success. Unknown access points located in sectors 12 through 15, he transmitted through crystal-enhanced communications. Wilson's engineering team completed emergency repairs on the orbital stabilizers, adapting hybrid crystal configurations to damaged systems, station position normalizing. Through it all, Zaxtel's presence anchored Samuel's accelerating transformation. Their synchronized patterns created new crystal formations that actively repaired disruption damage while maintaining technological compatibility. Strike Team Alpha reporting from Saturn facility, Commander Bell transmitted. Heavy automated defenses protecting prototype separation weapons, engaging primary targets. Cooper analyzed captured pure Earth devices, his expression focused. Their anti-integration tech targets specific neural frequencies. Samuel's hybrid structure evolved past these vulnerabilities. The medical bay's enhanced systems hummed as Samuel's transformation provided increasingly sophisticated protection. Crystal matrices spread through adjacent corridors, automatically reinforcing damaged sections. Multiple launches detected from Earth's Pride, Commander Bell announced. Energy signatures match quantum cascade devices, moving fleet elements to intercept. Samuel's hybrid senses detected the approaching weapon, their signatures broadcasting complex interference patterns designed to shatter integrated systems at fundamental levels. Through crystal-enhanced awareness, he began generating protective frequencies that rippled outward through Frost Point's reinforced defensive grid. Admiral Graves' flagship maintained its threatening position, gathering power for what promised to be a decisive assault. But Samuel's accelerating transformation had created something pure Earth's weapons hadn't anticipated: a naturally evolving hybrid defense that adapted faster than their disruption technology could compensate. The medical bay's containment field pulsed with steady blue energy as Samuel's conversion continued, his transformed systems providing templates for new protective configurations throughout the station. Through crystalline corridors, Colonial Authority defenders pressed their advantage against the increasingly outmatched Pure Earth boarding teams. Pure Earth boarding teams pressed forward through crystalline corridors as Admiral Graves initiated his primary assault plan. 3 sleek quantum cascade devices detached from Earth's Pride's ventral hull, their metallic surfaces reflecting Europa's pale light as they moved into position around Frost Point's critical sections. Multiple cascade devices deploying, Cooper transmitted. Energy readings off the scale. Samuel's hybrid neural structure detected the approaching threat through crystal-enhanced sensors. His consciousness expanded through the station's systems, automatically generating protective frequencies that rippled outward through reinforced barriers. The first cascade wave struck Frost Point's outer hull, destructive energy patterns attempting to break down crystal matrices. Incredible, Dr. Mitchell said, studying sensor data. Samuel's defensive patterns are incorporating elements from both technologies. The protective frequencies pulsed through modified crystal configurations, creating an unprecedented hybrid shield that deflected the cascade field's initial assault. Quantum dampening barriers phased in and out of conventional space, adapting to pure Earth's attacks. Strike Team reporting success at Saturn facility, Commander Bell's voice cut through tactical channels. Research vault secured. Transmitting technical specifications. Cooper's engineering team analyzed the incoming data, holographic displays revealing critical weaknesses in the Cascade device's containment systems. Wilson, route power through Samuel's crystal matrices. We need to strengthen these defensive screens. Lieutenant Wilson coordinated emergency modifications from engineering control. Sir, detecting unusual power generation from Samuel and Zaxtel's synchronized patterns. Confirmed, Cooper responded. Adapting distribution network to harness excess energy, reinforcing vulnerable sections. Pure Earth troops made their final push toward the medical bay, portable neural disruptors generating crimson interference patterns that clashed against crystal-enhanced barriers. Samuel's evolved hybrid structure broadcast countermeasures that rendered the weapons increasingly ineffective. Security teams maintain containment, Morrison directed. Engineering crews seal those compromised sections. The Horizon's Dawn positioned itself strategically, specialized sensors probing the approaching cascade devices. Dr. Mitchell studied the incoming data streams. Found it instability in their field generation process. Samuel's integration frequencies are the key. Cooper's teams rapidly installed modified pure Earth technology throughout Frost Point's outer sections. Counter-cascade network active. Channel those defensive patterns through the crystal matrices. Samuel detected growing instability in the quantum cascade devices as their destructive energy turned inward. His connection with Zaxtel strengthened, their synchronized patterns automatically repairing damaged crystal structures throughout the station. Additional pure Earth vessels approaching from Europa orbital stations, Commander Bell announced, moving fleet elements to intercept. The medical bay's enhanced containment field pulsed with steady energy as Samuel's transformation reached 82% crystalline conversion. His hybrid awareness tracked pure Earth reinforcements carrying modified cascade devices, their signatures betraying less sophisticated containment systems than Earth's Pride's primary weapons. Counter-cascade network at full power, Cooper reported. Samuel's defensive frequencies are destabilizing their weapon cores. Through crystal-enhanced senses, Samuel detected the cascade device's energy patterns fragmenting as his protective harmonics disrupted their carefully calibrated fields. Admiral Graves' final assault faltered against defenses that evolved faster than pure Earth's weapons could adapt. The approaching pure Earth reinforcements engaged colonial authority vessels in Europa orbit, their modified cascade devices activating prematurely as Samuel's disruptive frequencies spread through space. Quantum dampening fields pulsed outward from Frost Point's reinforced hull, forcing phase-shifted troops to materialize in corridors now controlled by Morrison's security teams. Engineering crews report critical success, Wilson transmitted. Samuel's hybrid patterns have stabilized our power distribution network. Samuel's consciousness expanded through crystal matrices that grew stronger with each pure Earth attack. His transformation provided templates for increasingly sophisticated defenses, while Zaxtel's recovered systems enhanced their synchronized connection. Together, they generated protective harmonics that pure Earth's weapons hadn't been designed to overcome. Counter. Pure Earth's weapons hadn't been designed to handle the emerging hybrid defense network that spread through Frost Point systems. The quantum cascade devices reached their designated positions, their metallic hulls glowing with accumulated energy. Warning, Cooper announced through tactical channels. Cascade field containment showing critical instability patterns. Through crystal-enhanced sensors, Samuel detected violent fluctuations rippling through the device's containment systems. Zones of intense disruption formed in space around Frost Point, the destructive fields lashing out unpredictably against both station and pure Earth vessels. Activating counter-cascade network, Wilson reported. His fingers danced across engineering controls as Samuel's protective frequencies pulsed through modified crystal matrices in the station's outer sections. The Earth's Pride's ventral launch bays cycled open. 6 additional cascade devices emerged, their modified containment fields radiating complex interference patterns designed to resist hybrid defenses. The weapons moved with precision, surrounding the medical bay in a hexagonal formation. New cascade signatures detected, Dr. Mitchell announced. These units are targeting Samuel's broadcast source directly. Power fluctuations surge through frost point systems as the device is activated, their enhanced fields probing the quantum dampening barriers. Samuel's hybrid neural structure automatically generated countermeasures, crystal formations spreading through adjacent corridors. Through secured channels, Commander Bell coordinated fleet movements. Pure Earth reinforcements intercepted at Europa Waypoint. 3 transport vessels secured prototype suppression tech aboard. In engineering control, Cooper analyzed incoming data from the captured ships. They've developed specialized reversal fields for crystal matrices, implementing protective measures now. Samuel's transformation accelerated as his systems adapted to the increasing cascade field intensity. New crystal patterns emerged along his spine, spreading outward through neural pathways. His connection with Zaxtel strengthened, their synchronized frequencies creating stable hybrid configurations throughout the station's power grid. Contact in Maintenance Shaft 14. Morrison's voice cut through combat channels. Pure Earth troops emerged from concealed access points, portable quantum disruptors filling the corridor with crimson interference patterns. Colonial Authority Marines took defensive positions behind modified barrier fields. Their hybrid crystal-enhanced weapons penetrated the attackers' phase-shifted armor, as Samuel's protective frequencies rendered the disruptors increasingly ineffective. Engineering teams report integration complete, Wilson transmitted. Captured Pure Earth tech now channeling Samuel's defensive patterns. The modified equipment projected an expanding field of stabilized frequencies. Samuel detected growing instability in the quantum cascade devices as their containment systems struggled to compensate. 2 of the original units powered down as Cooper's team implemented emergency shutdown protocols transmitted from the Saturn facility. Medical scans showing unprecedented integration levels, Dr. Mitchell reported. New crystal formations detected natural quantum disruption resistance emerging. The Earth's Pride's massive form moved into weapons range, its primary cascade generator gathering power. The device dwarfed its predecessors, experimental technology stolen from multiple facilities incorporated into its advanced design. Alert, Cooper transmitted. Primary cascade device charging. Energy readings exceed all previous measurements. Samuel's hybrid awareness expanded through crystalline sensors as the Colonial Authority fleet moved to intercept Admiral Graves' flagship. His transformed neural structure processed incoming data streams, automatically generating protective frequencies that rippled through Frost Point's reinforced barriers. Strike teams maintain medical bay security, Morrison directed as Pure Earth forces pressed their advance through maintenance tunnels. Engineering crews channel power to those quantum dampening fields. The remaining cascade devices continued their assault on Frost Point's outer sections, their destructive energy patterns clashing against Samuel's evolving hybrid defenses. Through it all, his transformation provided increasingly sophisticated protection as crystal matrices spread through the station's critical systems. Lieutenant Wilson coordinated emergency power distribution from engineering control. Hybrid pattern generation stable. Samuel's defensive frequencies holding against modified cascade fields. The Earth's Pride's primary weapon reached full power, its experimental containment systems radiating complex interference patterns designed to shatter integrated matrices at their most fundamental level. Colonial Authority vessels moved into defensive formations as Admiral Graves prepared to deploy his final cascade device against Frost Point's crystal-enhanced barriers. The Earth's Pride's primary cascade generator activated, unleashing a blinding surge of anti-integration energy that slammed into Frost Point's defenses. Crystal matrices shattered across 3 deck levels, their intricate patterns dissolving under the unprecedented assault. Multiple breaches detected, Cooper announced through emergency channels. Decks 4 through 6 experiencing critical matrix failure. Samuel's neural structure registered the damage instantly. His crystalline conversion reached 88% as hybrid defense patterns automatically adapted to counter the cascade generator's enhanced frequencies. Through crystal-enhanced sensors, he detected structural integrity failing in adjacent sections. Implementing emergency power redistribution, Cooper transmitted. His engineering teams rushed to modify connection nodes throughout the station, channeling hybrid output through defensive grid. Lieutenant Wilson's fingers flew across engineering controls, routing Samuel and Zaxtel's synchronized energy through reinforced power conduits. Sir, detecting exponential increase in matrix replication rates. Samuel's patterns are spreading through our crystal structure. The combined hybrid frequencies created a stabilizing field that pushed outward against the cascade generator's destructive wave front. Crystal formations throughout the station began absorbing and redirecting the weapon's energy, guided by Samuel's evolved neural patterns. Strike Team reports success at Saturn facility, Commander Bell cut in. Prototype quantum stabilization core secured, transmitting specs now. Wilson's engineering crew quickly adapted the captured technology, integrating it with Samuel's hybrid protocols. The medical bay's containment field pulsed with renewed strength as the stabilization core came online, deflecting the cascade generators, increasing power output. Pure Earth troops materialized inside the station's outer corridors, their phase-shift generators allowing them to bypass standard barriers. Security teams opened fire as the intruders pressed toward the medical bay. Multiple boarders, Deck 5. Morrison directed defensive operations through combat channels. Engineering, seal those breach points. Samuel's hybrid patterns spread through compromised sections, crystal matrices automatically reforming into reinforced containment fields. Several Pure Earth strike teams found themselves trapped between impenetrable barriers as the station's defense network adapted to their phase-shift technology. The Horizon's Dawn maneuvered between Frost Point and the Earth's Pride, specialized sensors probing the cascade generator's energy signature. Dr. Mitchell studied incoming data streams, holographic displays revealing complex frequency patterns. Found it, Mitchell transmitted. The weapon's containment system destabilizes when exposed to specific hybrid frequencies, broadcasting countermeasures now. Zaxtel's enhanced crystal matrix achieved perfect synchronization with Samuel's hybrid patterns. Their combined energy output surged through Frost Point systems, generating quantum-dampening barriers that repelled the cascade generator's destructive field while maintaining critical power distribution. Engineering teams report unprecedented power sharing between human and Iridian systems, Valtil announced from the medical bay. Integration protocols holding stable. The Earth's Pride's cascade generator sparked with uncontrolled energy as it attempted to compensate for Samuel's defensive frequencies. Commander Bell coordinated the Colonial Authority fleet's response, positioning vessels to target the weapon's increasingly unstable containment field. Launching disruptor drones, Bell transmitted. Modified hybrid patterns loaded and ready. Cooper analyzed captured Pure Earth technical data, his expression grim. Admiral, the cascade generator's containment system can't handle sustained operation against integrated hybrid defenses, the weapons becoming dangerously unstable. Engineering teams worked rapidly to adapt Samuel's protective frequencies, turning the cascade generator's massive power output against its own containment systems. Frost Point's hybrid defense network grew stronger as Pure Earth's most sophisticated weapon began tearing itself apart. All vessels maintain defensive positions, Commander Bell ordered as energy readings from the Earth's Pride reached critical levels. Prepare for immediate response. Samuel's transformed consciousness expanded through the station's crystal matrices, automatically strengthening vulnerable sections as the Cascade generator's containment field approached catastrophic failure. Pure Earth's final assault had unleashed a force they could no longer control. The Cascade generator's containment field buckled inward, bright energy arcs crackling across the Earth's Pride's hull. Warning klaxons blared through tactical channels as the weapon's quantum matrix collapsed, releasing a blinding surge of power that rippled outward through space. Cascade generator containment failing, Cooper transmitted. Energy readings off the scale. The Earth's Pride's primary power core flared with uncontrolled reactions. The massive vessel lurched sideways, its main engine sputtering out as emergency systems engaged. Through crystal-enhanced sensors, Samuel tracked the ship's erratic trajectory toward Frost Point's defensive perimeter. A wave of quantum energy from the collapsed weapon washed over the station. Samuel's neural structure absorbed the surge, crystal formations along his spine pulsing with increased activity. New patterns emerged through his hybrid interfaces, spreading rapidly through connected systems. Crystalline conversion at 91%, Dr. Mitchell announced, fingers moving across medical displays. Integration rate exceeding safety margins, initiating emergency stabilization. The medical bay's modified equipment hummed as Mitchell's team worked to manage Samuel's accelerating transformation. Through secured channels, Wilson reported from engineering control. Orbital stabilizers experiencing power fluctuations. Gravity systems compromised on decks 3 through 7. Samuel's hybrid awareness expanded through the affected sections. Crystal matrices automatically reconfigured, channeling power through newly formed structures. The station's artificial gravity stabilized as his enhanced systems adapted to the surge. Engineering teams, log those emergency modifications, Cooper ordered. Samuel's compensatory patterns just gave us a major upgrade to power distribution. The Horizon's Dawn's specialized sensors recorded the changes. Dr. Mitchell studied incoming data streams, his eyes widening at the results. These new crystal formations, they're incorporating elements from pure Earth's quantum technology. The integration's completely stable. Strike team reporting from Saturn facility, Commander Bell cut in. Hidden data core located. Sir, you need to see these technical specifications. Cooper's analysis team processed the captured documents. Pure Earth knew, he transmitted. Their weapons weren't failing, they were designed to strengthen successful hybrid transformations. In the medical bay, Zaxtel's crystal matrix synchronized with Samuel's enhanced configurations. Their combined frequencies generated protective fields that spread through adjacent systems, optimizing connections between human and Iridian technology. Integration benefits confirmed, Valtil reported, monitoring the power exchange. Samuel's hybrid patterns are improving overall system compatibility. Through station corridors, Pure Earth's remaining neural disruptors powered down as Samuel's defensive frequencies rendered them inert. Morrison coordinated security teams through tactical channels, all boarding parties contained, beginning systematic sweep for additional sabotage devices. Multiple escape pods launching from Earth's Pride, Bell announced. Power core approaching critical failure, moving to intercept. Colonial Authority vessels maintained defensive formations around Frost Point while intercepting the flagship's evacuation pods. Samuel's hybrid sensors detected pure Earth officers among the evacuees, their neural patterns indicating access to classified research data. Priority targets identified, Morrison transmitted, capturing Pure Earth command staff with knowledge of hidden facilities. The Earth's Pride's hull plates buckled as its damaged core continued destabilizing. Samuel's transformed consciousness expanded through Frost Point's crystal matrices, automatically strengthening sections facing the dying vessel. Through engineering channels, Wilson implemented permanent upgrades based on the emergency modifications. Hybrid pattern generation exceeding previous limitations, Cooper reported, analyzing Samuel's enhanced capabilities. Pure Earth's quantum tech is actually accelerating our integration progress. The medical bay's specialized equipment recorded Samuel's advancing transformation as his neural structure incorporated the captured technology. Dr. Mitchell's xenobiology team documented each new crystal formation, building a comprehensive database for future integration procedures. Colonial Authority strike teams have secured 3 additional Pure Earth research sites, Bell updated through command channels. Cataloging captured integration tech now. Samuel's hybrid frequencies rippled through Frost Point systems, purging remaining viral corruption while strengthening the station's defensive grid. The Earth's Pride's fusion core continued its cascade toward catastrophic failure as Colonial Authority vessels completed rescue operations, leaving the flagship to its fate. Through crystal-enhanced sensors, Samuel detected Pure Earth's extensive hidden infrastructure research facilities, weapons caches, and classified data centers scattered throughout the solar system. His enhanced neural patterns process the tactical data, automatically generating new security protocols to counter future threats as his transformation entered its final stages. The Earth's Pride shuddered as its fusion core reached critical mass. Blinding light erupted from engineering sections as quantum-enhanced explosions tore through the vessel's superstructure. The shockwave hit Frost Point with devastating force, sending waves of destabilizing energy through the station's crystal matrices. Samuel's neural structure absorbed the quantum surge. New crystal formations sprouted along his spine, spreading rapidly through connected medical systems. Through enhanced sensors, he detected his transformation rate accelerating beyond established safety parameters. Crystalline conversion at 93%, Dr. Mitchell announced, hands flying across emergency controls. Integration rate exceeding containment capacity. Cooper's monitoring equipment tracked the cascade of changes. Medical Bay were detecting dangerous power fluctuations. The quantum debris from Earth's Pride is interfacing with our crystal systems. Colonial Authority vessels maneuvered through expanding debris fields, tractor beams locking onto escape pods. Samuel's hybrid awareness expanded through compromised station sections, automatically strengthening vulnerable areas as quantum-charged fragments impacted the hull. Hull breach, Maintenance Sector 7, Wilson transmitted. Emergency containment failing. Samuel's neural patterns flowed through damaged sections. Crystal barriers formed across breached corridors, automatically sealing compromised areas. Engineering crews deployed modified containment fields incorporating his enhanced frequencies, protecting critical systems from further damage. Quantum stabilization core struggling to maintain safe levels, Mitchell reported. His xenobiology team activated emergency protocols as medical equipment sparked with excess energy. Samuel's hybrid patterns are generating new interfaces faster than we can compensate. Through crystal-enhanced connections, Samuel detected Zaxtel's matrix adapting to match his accelerated integration rate. Their synchronized frequencies created protective fields that deflected quantum fluctuations from critical systems. Valtil monitored the power exchange, recording unprecedented levels of human iridian energy sharing. "Sir, we've secured Admiral Graves," Morrison announced through tactical channels. Found him attempting to transmit encrypted commands from escape pod the Tannin. Transmission partially completed, encryption specialists cut in, detecting signals aimed at multiple coordinates within the solar system. Cooper analyzed debris fragments from the destroyed flagship, holographic displays revealing complex energy patterns. "Admiral, These quantum cascade components they're designed to enhance hybrid integration. Pure Earth accidentally created technology that stabilizes the transformation process. Engineering teams adapted the findings, modifying power distribution networks to channel Samuel's excess energy through reinforced crystal matrices. The medical bay's specialized equipment hummed as safety parameters stabilized, allowing his transformation to proceed at controlled rates. 17 distinct crystal variations detected, Mitchell transmitted, studying detailed medical scans. Each formation demonstrates unique benefits for human iridian integration. Through secured channels, Commander Bell coordinated with the Saturn Strike Force. Mars Asteroid Belt Facility confirmed. Moving to secure Pure Earth's Central Command installation before they can destroy research data. Samuel's hybrid sensors tracked the encrypted transmissions radiating through space, automatically mapping a network of hidden Pure Earth bases. His enhanced neural structure processed tactical data as colonial authority forces prepared to neutralize remaining anti-integration strongholds. Morrison's security teams escorted the captured Admiral Graves through reinforced corridors. Multiple high-ranking Pure Earth officers in custody, beginning tactical interrogation. The medical bay's modified containment field pulsed with stabilizing energy as Samuel's transformation approached its final stages. Crystal formations throughout Frost Point hummed with optimized frequencies, automatically strengthening the station's integrated defense network against future attacks. Integration protocols holding stable, Cooper reported, analyzing power distribution readings. Samuel's hybrid patterns have permanently upgraded our systems. Through crystal-enhanced awareness, Samuel detected colonial authority strike teams advancing on Pure Earth's Mars facility. The captured quantum technology had revealed new possibilities for human iridian cooperation, but securing this evolution required neutralizing the remaining threats scattered throughout the solar system. Samuel tracked Pure Earth's Mars facility through enhanced sensors as his crystal matrix pulsed with increasing power. In the medical bay, the containment field's readings stabilized, energy patterns aligning into perfect synchronization. Crystalline conversion reaching 95%, Dr. Mitchell announced, his hands steady on the controls. Integration rate stabilizing. Matrix harmonics achieving equilibrium. Through the modified equipment, Samuel felt Zaxtel's frequencies merge with his own. Their combined patterns generated protective fields that spread through Frost Point's infrastructure, crystal formations automatically repairing damage from the Earth's Pride's destruction. Power distribution networks holding, Cooper transmitted from engineering. New quantum tech integration complete. Samuel's excess energy channeling cleanly into defensive systems. The station's shields flared with enhanced strength, creating an impenetrable barrier against debris and remaining Pure Earth weapons. Samuel's hybrid awareness expanded through the upgraded crystal matrices, optimizing each system it touched. Strike team has breached Mars facility central core, Commander Bell reported. Securing data before wait. Emergency deletion protocols activating. Tech team, bypass those systems now. Samuel watched through crystal-enhanced feeds as colonial authority forces raced against Pure Earth's automated defenses. Engineers deployed modified access protocols, preserving the research database seconds before deletion. Admiral Graves' personal files recovered, Bell transmitted. Sir, these records show he knew integration was inevitable. All these attacks they were meant to prevent proof that Pure Earth was wrong. In the medical bay, Samuel's consciousness expanded as the transformation completed its final stage. His human thoughts remained clear and focused, while new awareness of crystal technologies flowed through his neural pathways. Patient displaying full cognitive function, Mitchell noted, studying detailed brain scans. Perfect synthesis between human and crystal matrix activity. Beside him, Zaxtel's crystal structure pulsed with matching frequencies. The young Iridian's matrix synchronized completely with Samuel's hybrid patterns, establishing a connection that bridged both species' technologies. Integration stability confirmed, Valtil reported. Combined human-Iridian interface operating at peak efficiency. Through engineering channels, Samuel guided repair crews in implementing his enhanced configurations. Crystal formations throughout the station adapted automatically, incorporating his improvements into their base structure. 17 integration candidates secured, Morrison announced. Medical facilities report ready for controlled transformation procedures using modified pure Earth tech. Dr. Mitchell's team compiled final analysis of Samuel's transformation data, establishing precise protocols for future integration attempts. Uploading complete guidelines to designated facilities now. Full safety parameters and compatibility requirements documented. Security teams swept through Frost Point's maintenance sections, eliminating Pure Earth's remaining sabotage devices. Samuel and Zaxtel's combined influence strengthened the station's hybrid systems, crystal matrices automatically identifying and neutralizing threats. Engineering confirms permanent security upgrades in place, Cooper transmitted. Station's defensive grid now operating at unprecedented efficiency levels. Through crystal-enhanced awareness, Samuel monitored Frost Point's integrated systems, maintaining optimal performance while ensuring seamless compatibility between human and Iridian technology. His partnership with Zaxtel created new possibilities for advancement neither species could achieve alone. Colonial Authority Command designating Frost Point as primary integration facility, Commander Bell announced. Samuel, Zaxtel you'll serve as technical advisors for future transformation attempts. As Pure Earth's remaining forces transmitted surrender signals, Samuel's hybrid sensors detected shifts in quantum energy patterns throughout the solar system. The age of human-Iridian cooperation had begun, with controlled integration opening new frontiers for both civilizations.